Hello, 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 and welcome and greetings, local residents and visitors far and wide to the Actual Play UK channel. Whoop, whoop, whoop. My name is Fiona. I don't say whoop, whoop enough. I clearly need to keep doing it. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and I have the humble honour and privilege of being the narrator for tonight's session of Solemn Vale, which is a tabletop RPG published by Dirty Vortex. Now, before I get this wonderful cast of misguided fools to introduce themselves, I'm going to quickly describe what Solemn Vale is and put forward just a general sort of content note for tonight's session. So, Solemn Vale, if you dive right into it, is a quaint little town in the southwest of England, isolated from the world by a jagged coastline and dense woodland, scarred by mining works, thrashing and rioting at the threat of closure. The close-knit community gives rise to a village mentality where the newest visitors and smallest infractions can become sources of gossip and scandal overnight. It is a land steeped in history where forgotten sects pray to pagan gods in the dark corners of Thatcher's Britain. Solemn Vale is a narratively driven storytelling game published by Dirty Vortex, as I've said, set against the backdrop of 1970s England, exploring a unseen world of folk horror and supernatural. Each of these games is a communal storytelling experience, and our players are going to be taking on the roles of visitors to this fine village, ensnared in a tale of mystery and survival. Guided by myself, the narrator, each story is going to deliver like a tiny little glimpse into the grim underbelly of the Vale and the festering evil feeding it. Success is by no means certain, as the weird corrupts and destroys all who confront it. Solemn Vale, if anything, is a state of mind, twisted and macabre, laced with dread and paranoia, and occasionally tinged with dark humour. It is the darkness in the cave, the shopkeep's stern glare, the lone voice urging you forward when every sight, sound, and shiver of your spine tells you to turn back. Now, as you might have guessed, this particular game may contain horror themes and variations thereupon. As a cast, we've gone over our safety tools, we discussed our lines and veils off stream, but I just wanted to take an opportunity for you, the visitors watching this stream at home or the VOD later on. I want to give you permission to step away from the story at any point and look after yourself if things get too much, because I always say that your well-being is more important than the roles at the table. Now, with all sort of that little bit of admin at the top of the session out of the way, I'm going to get the players to introduce themselves. We're going to go around in sort of clockwise order, so that's going to be Adam, James, Rhys, and then Pip. I'm going to get players to introduce themselves with their name, their pronoun, what show they're representing this evening, and I've asked them as sort of an icebreaker for a spooky fact about themselves. Yep, it's one of those horrible HR things. I'm going to do it, so help me. So let's go first with Adam, please.
Hello, yes, my name is Adam. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the DM over at Gunpowder, Treason, No Plot, a D&D podcast. And a spooky fact about myself, the only one that really came to mind that's maybe spooky, depending on the context, is I'm quite double-jointed. So I can twist things backwards and bend them upside down and all the rest of it.
But you yourself are double jointed rather than the things you touch are double jointed.
Yes, things.
Okay.
I am double jointed. I don't make things double jointed. That would be a very
Wait, sorry,
spooky
you
fact.
make things double jointed when you touch them?
Brilliant. It is also an unspooky fact, but it's also Adam's birthday today, so please
Mhm.
give him various accolations in the chat as well. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Adam.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Adam.
That's not going to save you from the story, by the way. Next up is James, please.
Hi, I'm James Barbarossa. My pronouns are he, him. Today I am here representing Realms of Peril and Glory, frequenters of this stream, but it is my first time on.
Yeah.
And a spooky fact about me is that when I was 2 or 3, I began vehemently insisting to my parents that, in fact, my home was in Holland, a country I had never heard of.
Incredible.
And my parents tell me that they got the distinct vibe that I was from Holland in a previous life somehow, which was, I gather, quite alarming, because I would keep leaving the house and walking down the road of my own accord. So that there you go.
Incredible! Wow, that's pretty good. An unspooky fact about James is that it's not his birthday today. It's the fact it's
That's true.
unbirthday. So please,
Ooh.
unbirthday wishes
Thank you.
to James in the
Thank
chat.
you.
Ooh, terrible regards
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank
to you. Many hateful returns.
I will, and I have had a horrible day, so it's all
Oh.
no,
And some people came to your house and took away things that you liked
Yes.
from you.
that's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
every day they do that. I
Yeah.
must stop them.
Oh,
Nice.
Next up is Rhys. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Rhys Lawton. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm here representing Who Lives, Who Dies. Before I start on any spooky fact about me, just James, you look like you're posing for the photo on the back of a horror book, and it makes me so happy. It's scratching my brain in all the right places.
This is his whole vibe.
This is just my vibe at all times.
It's beautiful. The vibe is beautiful. I love it. So yeah, spooky fact about me. One of my first jobs ever was working for a crematorium.
Ooh.
Yes, because it was a very short walk down the road from my parents' house, and I got £15 to be a pallbearer for people who didn't have enough people to support the coffin. So yeah, it was. That's the spookiest thing about me, I think.
I mean, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and like your parents have mysteriously disappeared, and you now own that house, which is
I mean,
down the road.
as a separate thing, I was raised to be a cult leader, but that's a completely
Yeah.
different thing.
Yes.
That's not spooky. Everyone
No,
does
that's not
that.
spooky. An unspooky fact about Rhys is that his current setup, it looks like this picture we see before he goes missing, I think. Like last scene comes up in all the news reports. Last but by no means least, Pip, could you introduce yourself for us, please?
Hello there. I'm Pip Gladwin, and like my colleague James Barbarossa over there, I am also here representing Realms of Peril and Glory, and it is very far from my first time streaming with Actual Play UK. If anything, I'm in too many of their shows, and I should stop. A spooky fact about myself. This is more of an anecdote, and I'm gonna tell it as quickly as I can. Okay,
Sounds good.
so, and there's gonna be a moment during this anecdote where you go, oh no, is he gonna say something bad is gonna happen, and it's gonna be okay, and I promise. So when I was in sixth form, it was wintry. We were right by Hampstead Heath. We were out on a lunch break. And one of the lakes had kind of frozen over. So we were all like sort of mucking around down by this frozen lake. We were sort of chucking rocks and bits of ice and stuff, trying to break the ice on the lake, and just dicking around like you do in your early 20s. I was wearing gloves because it was very cold. I picked up half a brick, right, which was kind of part of the general sort of stones and stuff down around this area next to the lake, and I did a big swing to throw it, but it was wet and the gloves were wet. And it came out of my hand very hard about halfway through the swing. And I turned my head, and over to the right of me was a group of primary school children.
Oh dear.
And this half brick was just flying at this small boy's head, like directly at this small boy's head. And the spooky part of the story, I guess, was that moment when I saw what was about to happen. And genuinely, time stopped. And I just went, okay, so I kill a child now. And here is how that's going to affect my life going forwards. Like, obviously, it's not a murder, but it's child slaughter. I had all this time to sort of process what was about to happen and the effect that it was going to have on me. And then he saw something shiny and ducked. Like, literally, he saw something on the ground that he was interested in and went, oh, what's that? And the thing just over the top of him, clattered away, and absolutely no one noticed. No, not a single human being. No one I was with, none of the kids, none of the teachers that they were with. And basically my friends all sort of turned around, and I basically sort of collapsed and was like, like, what's wrong? I'm like, I nearly killed a child. Anyway, that's my spooky story. I nearly killed a child. There we go.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty... Wow. Well.
I didn't like that.
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you would.
Yeah. No follow-up questions, Pip. Thanks
Very
for your
good.
contribution.
A true story.
Very well
And if you're
told.
watching, small boy, you're welcome. No, that doesn't work. I'm sorry. Well, yeah. I hope he's well. I hope he's well.
There's going to be a moment later on where your lights all go out and that boy appears.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you, my wonderful visitors to Solemn Vale. We are very lucky to have you with us. Now, the structure for this particular session is going to be a little bit different, as I've asked the players to come with a complete blank slate, because we are going to create their characters live on stream together, flesh out their connections, a little bit of backstory before we take a break, and then start the scenario. The reason is because I'm quite selfish, and I actually like character creation, especially when it's quite short. And a lot of actual plays don't really show this process. And I think sometimes, as long as we do it in a nice structured manner, as long as the folks are engaging doing it, which we've all got really good engaging stories about spookiness, it means that people learn how to play the game and how to create their characters off that. So that is the reason why I've sort of begged them to be like, don't come up with anything, don't worry, it's all fine. So the plan for the structure is, as I've already said, I'm going to read aloud the introduction and the concept of today's scenario that we're going to be telling. We're then going to spend the first half creating the characters inspired by the story concept. We're then going to have our break, and then on the return, I'm going to do the opening scene, and then we're going to go from there, moving from scene to scene, and as each concludes, bearing the consequences of success or failure as the story plays out. And then once we're close to time, we're going to sign off at an appropriate point, whether it's positive, but most likely negative. We're going to do a quick outro from all of us here, and then off stream we're going to do a quick debrief with a safety tool I like to call Stars and Wishes, just to make sure everyone is okay. So, my fine visitors to Solemn Vale, shall I tell you what our scenario is this evening?
Yes, please.
Okay. The residents of Solemn Vale know better than to respond to cries of help in the middle of the night. If someone makes a noise outside, they draw the curtains, switch off the lights, and wait for screaming to die down before risking a peek outside. They've known the Neville family for years. They live on Sword Terrace. Their neighbours on either side have now tried. When the cries for help go up from this particular house, their neighbours on either side follow the tried and true pattern of ignoring them. Whatever it is that's bothering them is clearly no business of the Taylors, who live in a cottage nearby, or the Higstons at number 3. Neither family checks the scene after the screaming stops. Some things are better left alone, or at least best left for a passing police officer to discover. The issue comes with the visitors, our players, who represent a TV production team and an interviewer looking to do a candid drop-in on the Neville family. You see, the Neville's son, Marcus, won a competition he entered with the BBC to meet celebrity children's television host Noel Kelly, who arrives with the crew. Sadly, what the BBC team discover at the Neville house is, well, let's take at the footage, shall we? So players, tonight you are going to be making up a team which is the television crew from the BBC. This could including the celebrity children's host, Noel Kelly. So roles could include, as suggestions, a camera operator, a director, an interviewer, and even Noel Kelly. None of you have to play them, but I'm just putting it out there, just in case. The only note I'm going to give you is that all of you should feel largely resentful about having to travel to the middle of nowhere to meet this Marcus Neville. But from what you've read of the letter he sent in that won the competition, is that his love for Noel Kelly and the warmth of his home life is endearing, and you may have connected on some level for it. So that is your thing. So have a think about what kinds of character you'd like to be. Maybe you're thinking about the persona of it, the roles and stuff. Again, we can talk about it, and if people come up with the same role, that is also fine. We can work with that as well, because there's plenty of stuff to do in the TV crew. Now, whilst you're getting on with that, I'm going to just tell the viewers at home what the main mechanic is for Solemn Vale. So Solemn Vale works on something called the Weird Abacus. It's a system that uses attribute pools, dice, and a simple bidding mechanic that supports the flow of the fiction. The main mechanic you're going to see today is challenge roll. So to resolve a challenge, one of our players will attempt a challenge roll, which will roll one dice of 1d6, matching or exceeding the value of the challenge value that I'm going to give. This may represent one character overcoming a particular obstacle, or several characters working in tandem. Before throwing the dice, they could choose any of the assigned ability points to the roll and boost the outcome. Every ability point assigned increases the result on the d6 by 1, so a point for 1 point by. Any player who's involved in an attempt can spend points to do so. There's no limit on how many points they can spend, but normally they can only assign it from one of the abilities they have, and each character will have 3 abilities. There is something in each scene, though, called the Weird Pool, which we'll talk about in a little bit of detail in the second half. A player can take a point from this Weird Pool to allow them to spend points from a different ability, or maybe appear in the scene, or even boost the roll after it has been rolled. The thing is, though, if they roll and they equal to or go above the challenge value, they succeed. If they don't, well, there's consequences. This goes from sort of maybe narratively they don't get very far, or maybe damage, or maybe the weird will take an interest in them. So, that's sort of the main mechanic. There's a few more bits and pieces, but we'll get onto it when in due time. So, my wonderful players, let's have a quick chat. So in Solemn Vale, each of you are going to take the control of a single character, role-playing, their personality and choices, usual things you do in RPGs. You're going to decide how this character is going to try and make their way through this unfolding horror in the situation you find yourselves in. There are 4 main steps to create a character. It's a concept, abilities, facets, and then I've put a 4th one in called bonds. So the first one, it's important to pick a concept, something like a story you have in mind that fits in with what we've talked about in that sort of TV crew aspect. So examples in general for Solemn Vale could be an outsider coming to attend a estranged relative's funeral, a police officer coming to dispatch to investigate crime in general, a journalist coming to dig up some story from the past, any of those things. But I've given you sort of the restriction of a television crew. So that is sort of the thing. And you all know each other for at least 6 months. That's the other thing I'm going to put on top of that as well. So my first question to you, my wonderful players, is anyone keen to play Noel Kelly?
It's tempting.
Because otherwise, that leaves it to me, which is fine. But I want to make sure I just double check.
which is also good. It's tempting, but I don't know that I have an immediate idea about what I would do with that off the bat.
That's fine. That's fine. If there's
if anybody else does,
if anyone can go for no color, but it's not necessary. You don't have to have them with your crew, so to speak. They will appear in the story, but you don't have to play them. I just wanted to check.
I'm not 100% sure who Noel Kelly is.
It's a made-up person.
Then great.
Makes it much easier.
That does make it easier.
Yeah, they are just a children's TV host. Think Blue Peter style. That's what they're sort of going for here. Yeah. I will say any persons featured in this scenario are fictional until proven until otherwise. All right, well, I'll put Noel Kelly off to one side for the moment. Again, if people maybe later on be like, I really want to play them, that's fine. But, all right. Well, in that case, we're going to go in reverse order, if that's all right, and just talk about what kind of story we're talking about. So, Pip, what's the concept you're thinking of? Maybe like a line or two summary of the kind of character you would like to play. You don't have to have named them yet or got an appearance or anything like that, but just the concept that would fit within this story.
Sorry. My immediate thought, and I don't know why I've gone this way, I don't have any particular attachment to this at all, but my brain has gone immediately to the role of makeup artist.
Excellent.
I don't know why, but that's where it's gone. And in terms of a character type, it's a good question.
But the role of makeup artist, I think that's a decent one.
Yeah, I mean that's my starting point, and maybe I'm just going to write that down. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, write that down.
I'm going to do that.
As your startup. Yeah, you are part of this team. You are the makeup artist, or the person that will brighten up Noel Kelly's. I now assume they have like amazing hair because it's the 70s/80s in my head. So brilliant. Rhys, any thoughts on the concept, my friend?
Ooh, had two possible ones I was thinking of. Again, much the same, not particularly tied, but see what happens. So either the kind of incredibly naive runner who is just really keen for everyone to have a nice day, and the other is the silent camera operator, and of the two, I think I prefer the runner.
Runner? Yeah.
It's more fun. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. A runner, go for it. James.
Well, my one character idea was a really cheery runner, so that's gone.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
so
sorry.
sorry.
It's all good. What would be fun? I think just sort of like, like just a quite, like very overworked and underslept, like sort of like production organizer,
Yeah.
like on-set production organizer, producer.
Yeah, producer.
Just like not ever really given enough information to do their job, but like just like you're gonna go there and pretend you know more than you do.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that works quite well. Really good, really good. And then Adam.
I was leaning towards director,
Mm-hmm.
and I was immediately getting to my mind someone who was maybe incredibly unqualified for the job, maybe even brought into it more through nepotism and rich contacts than actually knowing what he's doing.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's something. I guess for this as well, maybe for the sake of this, maybe you are the camera person as well as the director. You want to get the right shot as well.
Yeah.
Or the budget has been so low that you're just like, well, I'll do it, and yet you're underqualified as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, makeup artist, runner, producer, director. Great. And then Noel as well. Fabulous. So now you've got sort of your concept ideas. Have a little think about anything else you want to include out. They don't have to have a connection to Solemn Vale. I will say that right now. Those were just some of the examples I was giving. But we'll go on to step 2, which is abilities. So each of your characters will have 3 abilities: body, mind, and soul. Each of these are going to have a numerical value assigned to them, indicating the starting and maximum points this character possesses in that ability, and dictates any of the size of the influence rolls, which is another game mechanic. So body deals with those physical challenges, and the 3 of them that sort of come up are obstruction, pursuit, and threat. Mind is still more mental challenges, which are sort of logic, pressure, and wits, and then the soul deals with the spiritual and the occult challenges of foreboding, invocation, and of course our favourite, taint, which I think is an absolutely terrible word for it. And I know it's going to break everyone every time it comes up, so I'm just going to get it out the way now.
Yep.
Between those 3 abilities, you have 15 points to spread between them. Minimum value should be at least 3. Maximum is at least 9. The one thing I want to say is that a high value doesn't mean you're necessarily like super strong or brave or smart or anything like that. It just means that you possess a great capacity to deal with those sorts of challenges. So you don't have to be like super muscly or anything like that. You just so happen to just in this moment have enough strength to push the person away, etc. So have a think about that. The other thing to note is that as the story progresses, you're going to expend some of these points for these roles, these challenge roles we talked about, and regain them to overcome them. At any point, if you have 0 in a particular ability, that ability is scratched out. If for whatever reason you have to remove some points from that and it's scratched out, an ability scratched out, you're dead.
Oh, shit.
So my advice is maybe don't put 3 in one thing. Maybe have a little bit of a buffer. That's just my advice, but you don't have to go with me. You don't have to do it at all. Again, it's very easy to come up with other characters for this as well. Cool. Once you've done that, another little bit of a thinky one. So step 3 is something called facets. So I want you, for each of those abilities, so body, mind, and soul, I want you to think of 2 facets or 2 sort of descriptors that would go with it. It's like a brief description that would add detail and depth to your character. I will say, a facet doesn't have to be positive in nature. So, like, for example, you might be like, my character's athletic or quick-witted, but they could also be clumsy or aloof. It can add enough to the story. It's just a way to branch out your character a little bit and give you a little bit of sense of focus. One of the rules we're going to be using for this game, which might help, or just something to think about in terms of roleplay, is that once we do a scene, if you have played to one of the facets in that scene and we all go, yeah, you did that, you can restore an extra point to one ability, which might come in useful later. Because at the end of every scene, you will be able to restore 1 point to one of your abilities. And so if you played also to a facet, that would be an additional point on top of that.
Okay.
So have a little bit of a think, and then we'll go around again just to hear your facets and like where you've distributed your points, so to speak. But and take your time. I'm just gonna take a nice drink of squash because I look like I'm from the 70s. Don't mind me, chaps.
Do the facets have to be related to each of the abilities?
Ideally, but they don't have to be positive. So like, I'll give the example of like athletic, and that will probably go with the body, but equally it could be clumsy or anything like that. And we can always talk them through as well if you're struggling. Basically, it's just a way that if you've gone, I like you succeeded at some challenges in a scene, but you tripped at least, or something like that, then that would be like, oh, you did use clumsy, you played to your clumsy thing, so you get to restore a point after that scene, if you see what I mean. It's a way to help you
Got
out.
it. Just looking at the way that the body, mind, soul are laid out, and it's entirely possible that you already said this, and I apologize if you did. This is going to be great radio. You've got the the 2 circles
Yes.
that are linked, and then the 2 little boxes either side.
Yes. So the top circle would be your max, so whatever the big point is.
Yep.
And then the bottom circle will probably be your current.
Current.
So that
Makes
goes up and
sense.
down. The boxes, I assume, you cross out that first box means the ability is striked out, and if you cross it off again, then you are dead. So they are like a way to indicate that it's been crossed out.
Got it.
Without ruining anything. Again, the character sheet is not super brilliant. It's very short, I'll admit, but it's not form fillable, which is also annoying. I'll also say, for the sake of clarity, on the character sheet as well, there is a little nice little boxes called weird. That will be your weird pool, and everyone starts at 0 weird. There's going to be something that you will track in that. So just be in mind that you should have a space somewhere that just says weird. WYRD. It's not a facet, you're not weird.
Might be.
Might be. All right. So let's go round. We'll go clockwise again. So Adam, how are you doing on creating your character? What are your facets, and what's the sort of general sort of spread of your ability points?
So ability points, I went 4 in body, 6 in mind, 5 in soul. And facets, I've got a couple, but I haven't got all of them yet. So
That's
for
okay.
mind, I was going with arrogant. I think that kind of
director, yeah.
Yeah. And soul, I was actually going to put down courageous, more through ignorance than anything else. But
maybe courageous, like what's not stout-hearted, but like it's like they're just like we'll see it through to the end, that sort of thing. Yeah, I get that. Oh, awesome. All right, well, I'll let you figure out those other ones. James, what have you got, my friend?
So far, I've my abilities. I've gone for 5 body, 6 mind, and 4 soul. Because that's sort of what I feel like a producer would have. Would have very
Less soul.
low soul. Yeah. For soul, I'm sort of trying to go for one kind of positive and one negative for each one. That feels right. For soul, I have gone for dispassionate.
Ooh.
But also purposeful.
Yeah.
So like they do they're committed to doing their job, but not that means nothing to them personally.
Yes.
You know, like
They've got the purpose, but they're not like super passionate about it. They won't stay late. As soon as it clicks 5 o'clock, they're like,
we're done.
Right,
We're
going.
done. Yeah.
I love that. Any other facets you've got? Just how are you still thinking?
Mind, I have put. I'm still doing body. Mind, I have put irritable, but also adaptable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good.
I went to film school. I'm picturing a few people's personalities. So
Nice.
yeah.
Love it. All right, well, I'll let you get on with those body ones. Rhys, how you doing, my friend? Hi. So what have you got for your distribution of points, and what facets have you got currently?
Little Chaos Gremlin has decided to go 3 in mind, because why not? 4 in body, and 8 in soul.
Oh, cute.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
any facets yet, or are you still thinking?
So far I've got empathetic for soul,
Mhm.
and distracted for mind.
Mm.
I might also put curious for
Curious.
mind as well.
Curious is a good one. Yeah, I like that.
I haven't got anything for body yet.
Yeah, don't worry. Again, these things will come again. I appreciate I've kind of let this upon you, but it's fine. It's just more so that you didn't prep anything, which is what I like about it. Moving over to Pip. What have we got for our makeup artist?
Right now, I've gone body 6. I've gone mind 5, and then soul 4 is what I've gone for. And I don't have a what are we calling them?
Facets?
Facets. I don't have a facet for all my facets yet, but I've got. I don't know if this is accurate. It probably isn't, but I don't care. I've got the facet gymnast in body.
Athletic. Put athletic.
Okay, I'm putting it in brackets next to gymnast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We know what you meant, but we're all like,
sure. I've put logical in mind, but I want to do the thing of like good and bad, because that's fun to do.
No,
I want to and I don't have anything for soul yet, but
That's
I will
okay, that's okay.
do soon.
yeah, that's all right. Well, what we'll do, we'll give it a couple of other seconds, and then we can always think of stuff in the break as well. So don't want you to worry too much about like I must have a perfect character sheet right now, because that's not fair. But I'll talk about the next step, the final step, so that people know. So once you've got an idea of what your characters are, we're going to take a little bit of time to sort of flesh them out, and we're going to use something that is again, it's an optional rule, but I quite like it. So during character creation, I want each of you to choose another character. So ideally, you should choose. Everyone should get one connection, so to speak, and you're going to determine how you know that character, that person, and what sort of, it says here, strong reaction you have to them. And some examples could be: is it friendship? Is it bitterness? Is it a rivalry? Is it protectiveness? Because then at the end of a scene, if the group agrees that you sort of drew on your connection to help achieve your goal in some way, then you will regain an additional point in one of your abilities as well. So there's a way to just get points back if you role play to your facets and to your connection, so to speak. So again, we can match those up in a second as well. I'll give you a few more, maybe about another minute or so, just to think of some facets, and then we'll go on to those bonds. I'm just going to sit here and look very pretty, drinking my squash, and not worry about things.
I should have worn black lipstick.
Look,
Next
if
week.
there's one thing we now know, it's that all of us should have done that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm looking out of my window just now, and there's a fog and a rain rolling in my direction, and I'm just like,
Perfect.
this could not have worked out better. So I'm enjoying this view and also this view. So it's when I'm going to be pulled off screen and by some big horrible force. That's when you know things are going awry. All right, I'm gonna give you a pause there so you can come back to your facets in a second. Yes. So let's talk about bonds. We're gonna go back around the circle, go anti-clockwise. So we'll start off with Pip. I would like you to pick another character. So you have our wonderful runner, a sort of put upon producer, and then our inexperienced director.
Yes.
What character? Which of these characters would you like a connection to, and what's the strong reaction that you would have towards them? It's not going to be reciprocal. It is just a one-way feeling.
Of course. Is this just one? We're just picking one character.
One character.
Just the one. Interesting. I think that whatever this character's name is going to be, that they I think there's going to be a strong let's go strong protective instinct on delightful little runner. Like, you know, nobody cares about the little guy. So then I think that's where we're going to go, I think.
Perfect. All right, write that down. So you are protective of Rhys's character, who is the happy-go-lucky runner. So that is very good. Moving on then to Rhys. If you can pick another one of these characters, Rhys. Ideally not Pip, so that everyone else gets a thing, just to make sure it's right. But yeah, another character that you have a strong reaction to. So you have a choice of the put upon producer or the. And I keep wanting to say inept. No, inexperienced director.
I mean, I think he's a bit inept as well.
Okay.
So, speaking of the wonderful inept director, so this very naive runner looks up to them like it's like a protege relationship where they are desperate to get the accolades and the praise and really learn from this director.
Ooh, so you could say you're in awe of the
In
director.
awe, very much in awe.
Love that. Very, very cool. All right, moving on then to James. I think through process of elimination, I think it would be Pip would be your relationship, the makeup artist.
Yes.
So what strong reaction would you, the put upon producer, have towards the makeup artist?
I mean, I think all of these people would be deeply irritating.
Yep.
To me, but I think the makeup artist seems like they're the most put together. Like we've got a very naive runner, not bad at their job, but like very fresh faced,
Very puppy dog, I would think.
Yeah. And this deeply frustrating director. And I think probably having been part of this crew for a while, I would assume, I think that like the closest possible to a sort of companionship with the makeup artist, just sort of like,
yeah, friendship, yeah.
I truly hate you the least. You know,
I love it. Yes. So like I sort of like
my favorite co-worker.
Yeah.
You know,
Put that down. Brilliant. And then finally, Adam, I believe that leaves then James's character, the producer. What's your relationship, would you say, or strong reaction you would have to their character?
Yeah, that's perfect, 'cause that's what I wrote down. Yeah, worked out well.
Worked out well.
I put down that
Maybe spooky.
I know. I put down that I'm basically reliant upon the producer. I like to think that they're probably the only reason anything gets done off my vague, badly worded instructions.
yeah,
I like that.
I like that.
That's quite good. Yeah. Ooh, some very nice. I can see already the sort of blossoming of this little crew set as well. So now I'm just going to ask some general questions that we don't need to write them down too much, but it's just a way to sort of keep us into the zeitgeist of it. So obviously you've been together for at least a couple of shoots. And I think this is more of a conversation about that we can throw stuff in and rather than everyone just goes in at once. I think it just any discussion of it is fine. So would you say you've all worked with Noel Kelly, favorite children's presenter before, or is this like your first time, would you say?
I'm gonna go with before. Worked with him before.
Yeah.
I like what you said earlier on, and I want to make it canon that my character, whatever their name becomes, is fully responsible for his hair. Like that hair has been a labor of love, and I don't know how my character actually even feels about this person. They might not even like them very much, but the hair is not to be disturbed. Yeah.
That sounds good. Any other thoughts?
I guess I'm also a stylist. I'm gonna put stylist in as well. I'm gonna you know, with the small crew, right?
It's
like we're gonna
everything
take on
together.
multiple roles.
Yeah, was it
I'm gonna throw that
wig
in
and
too.
hair? Your wig and
Yeah.
hair, yeah. Wig and face makeup, yeah. Any other thoughts about Noel? Like, do you think he's nice to work with? Is he a bit of an arse? Or are they a bit of an arse even? Sorry.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what's the most interesting? Because the trope, I guess, is like he's super nice on screen and backstage he's a massive asshole. Like that's the trope, and it's a fun trope. But do we wanna go with it?
Yeah, I don't think like. I'm just getting this very strong image of this person knows that they are the most important aspect of this, right? The only thing that gives any of our job any meaning whatsoever is this person. And I don't think that would necessarily be like, not like asshole, but like quite self-involved, very
Definitely.
self-involved.
Sure.
This beautifully coiffed person who probably feels like that is their natural hair state and that they always look perfectly coiffed and there's no reason to believe otherwise. So like a sort of lovely on set but horrible, but not as strong, right? Like
Sure.
Small cheese, I guess, is what you're thinking. Yeah, they probably don't throw much weight around the BBC. They're just, maybe it's one of those up and coming presenters.
Yeah.
I know I keep going back to Blue Peter, like that's my only insult of this. But you're like, oh yeah, this is, they're kind of like that. What if we're looking at the vehicle you've come in? I'm going to suggest that you've all come in the same vehicle, like a big van. Is there anything that's what is it about this van? Like anything along the journey? Is it an old banger that the BBC has lent you? Is it quite new? Has it got all the equipment in? Have you had to stop off to put up your own petrol? Anything about the journey? I guess that sort of put you guys together. Any thoughts on that?
I was thinking one that looked quite nice when we got it, but then started to collapse en route, like it was held together by duct tape and we didn't know.
I was gonna say the same thing.
It just had a very surface level once over.
Yeah.
So we were all maybe sort of impressed when the van showed up, and then over the course of the journey, it's just been gently disintegrating.
I think there's one comfortable front seat for Noel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Going back to Noel again, just very briefly. What kind of show do they present? Obviously, it's a children's show, but is it something specific? Is it like, Noel's house party? Is it like a Blue Peter Presents thing? Is it does this person work with puppets? Any sort of thoughts? What kind of show that Noel works on?
I feel like there needs to be the main antagonist to Noel is a blobby-esque creature.
God. Oh God.
And it's there is a resentment there, but it's always smiles, and they rotate who's in the suit.
Oh damn! Is the suit in the van?
Suits in the van.
I'm tense enough already. I do not need the addition of Blobby.
Oh, Rhys, you've just absolutely made my night.
Let me just make
And
let me
yet
just
it
make
has to happen.
edits
It
quickly.
simply has to happen.
Okay, so I like that.
Okay. So super importantly, we have to name this character.
Yes,
What
absolutely.
is this character called?
Oh. I wanted Lord Peter.
Ooh.
Okay.
Lord
Hey, look,
Peter.
you created him.
I don't.
You willed
Look,
him into existence. I feel like
Lord Peter existed before I did. I'm
There
but
is
a
no
vessel.
Rhys, only Lord
Yes.
Peter.
What
Only
is
Lord
Lord
Peter.
Like,
You said Lord Peter and I instantly got for some reason the Burger King mascot in my head, like this big, oversized sort of monarch type character.
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe if we want to go off that fast food thing, maybe Noel Kelly is some sort of foodie, promoting healthy foods for kids, and is trying to fight off people like Lord Peter,
Okay.
that sort of thing. So I'm thinking of those sort of adverts where they're like, no, say no to
yeah.
eat your greens, all that
But
sort of.
in the
Don't listen
classic,
to Lord Peter.
in the classic fashion, people are massively a fan of Lord Peter, and
Everyone
therefore the
loves
show
Lord
does
Peter.
the
Yeah.
precise reverse. of
Oh,
what it
so
does.
maybe-
and there's the resentment. There's the kids want
Yeah.
Lord Peter to show up at
Kids
their
want Lord
school.
Peter,
They're not
yeah.
that fussed about Noel. Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason why I would say Noel is looking forward to this trip because Marcus's letter seemed incredibly keen to meet Noel and not Lord Peter.
And but the studio insisted that we bring the costume.
I love the fact there's
Yeah, it
costumes in the
can't.
back.
They insisted that we bring the costume. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm going to think of one final question for you folks, just to make sure.
I'm still laughing at Lord Peter. I don't
love
know why, but
I would say I'm trying to think of a good last question just to make sure we've got all the sort of things tied. I will say none of you have really heard of Solemn Vale. You know, it's like a really far away, isolated town. So what I'd do again, it's not really roleplay stuff, but it's just a little thing about the journey. So you've all been in this sort of van that's just been breaking down, like you've had to stop off a few times, etc. So I want to just, for each of you, what's one thing that stood out to you about this journey as sort of you leave the real world of London, let's face it, and going into the countryside towards Solemn Vale, and then going past the sign, "Welcome to Solemn Vale, you'll never leave." What's the one sort of little thing that stands out to you as you sort of the roads turn into trees, turn into woodland and countryside? And you can go in any order you like.
I think it's the and this is pretty common, I feel, but is this just blue sky? Just throw out whatever pops into my crazy brain.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that as we've kind of crossed the threshold, not that we would necessarily know it, that there are no roads, like road signs as we would understand them anymore, but there are like stone markers.
Love that.
And maybe they do have, the English names of places, but I feel like there's other writing on them as well that is not familiar.
Perfect.
Yes. Pointing at stuff that isn't necessarily the way that the road goes.
Yeah.
That's, just unsettling road signs.
Unsettling road signs with a little bit of like green and moss grown on them in certain areas.
Yeah, for sure.
Less directly spooky, but drawing from my own personal experience of having grown up in a southwest town,
Haunted southwest town. Yeah.
just an
Wait, are you from Solemn Vale? Oh,
just an absolutely incomprehensible one-way system that is always you would think would be constantly roadblocked based on its design, but never is until the precise moment you need to get somewhere, and then it's you can't get out. That was a very strong.
that was like a
vibe.
memory that came back to you just then. I saw your eyes glaze over as you
Yes.
relived it.
Yeah.
Rhys, you look like you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm torn between the light or the smell of the place. Because on the one hand, it's like, that faintly yellow light before a storm, where everywhere's just got that slight, it's just slightly off. And you're like, why does this oh, that's why. Or it's the smell of, rather than wood, it's earthy, like it's got that kind of
like petrichor.
oh yeah, like petrichor.
Okay, so that's my one cool Doctor Who fan. I was like, it said petrichor.
It's a great word. It's a
great
superb word.
I think you could. I would say have both of them. Like again, it's that sort of, you suddenly sense there is something changed in the air, but you're not entirely sure what. And you would put it down to the weather.
Yeah.
And there's that sort of change in sort of humidity and feeling that you're not in a place with metal buildings sky high that have a different kinds of climate, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely think that.
And the humidity's doing just a number, doing a number on everyone's head.
So damp. So damp.
Like very sweaty armpits.
Must.
Absolutely. Adam.
I like the thought that as you're sort of moving into the town, like even on the roads going in, like on the walls of like borders of farms and things like that, you can find like little handmade like fetishes, like little like dolls that have been bound up, or just little like totemy type things, like ones that don't necessarily look sinister, like something maybe a child could have just made. But the fact they're quite frequent is just a little bit off-putting.
Absolutely.
There's
Oh, I
always
love
stuff like that.
There always is, and it's never explained. I love it. I love it. Cool. So, what I'm going to suggest, if John, if you're still there, we'll go to an early break because I think that is character creation, and we're just letting our folks just sort of come up with like maybe a description and like a name for the characters. Fill out any facets you need to, but we can do that off stream because that is essentially what it is. It's that easy in terms of character creation and just getting a few other details. And then when we come back, we can do our start of the scenario. How's that sound, everyone? All good? Sounds
Perfect. Sounds great.
all right, we'll just wave until we go to break and
Summon.
And welcome back, friends and residents and visitors alike to Solemn Vale. Before, we were just creating our characters and we just made sure off stream that everything is okay and we can jump straight into scenario. Before I begin the scenario, obviously, content warnings. Obviously, this is a very mature scenario with horror themes and variations thereupon. So just make sure that you take care of yourselves when you're watching this, and then obviously take a step back if it's a little bit too much. We will be here for your return, and you'll never leave us, really. So let's move to a road in the countryside. The camera sort of pans down the road and suddenly whoosh as a BBC van goes past. A little bit clunky. You think as you look, the exhaust pipe has been taped on with some sort of gaffer tape, essentially underneath. As we sort of roll up, we can see into the insides of this car. Firstly, in the sort of the shotgun seat, we'll say, obviously in the English sort of car, we see one Noel Kelly, a very beautiful looking man, very much angular in face, curls for days. Looking very sort of prim, looking out of the car, his own sort of headset, sort of headphones on, and a tape player that he's just playing, like listening to his own music, looking super cool. A cigarette in his hand and smoking and leaving ash sort of on the inside of the car. Who is driving this car? Does anyone want to volunteer? And when they do, they can introduce their character and who they are for this little team heading towards Solemn Vale.
I definitely volunteered to drive.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I am an incredibly nervous driver.
Oh no.
Oh.
It's just, it's fine. It's fine. It's just letting everyone go past. It's taken us a lot longer than it should have.
Mm-hmm.
Refuses to pull into out at any junction unless like everyone's gone past. Yeah.
I like, the camera sort of goes past Noel to sort of the driver with the white knuckles seeing on the steering wheel, and the camera pans up. And who do we see, Rhys? Who is your character that you're playing for us today?
You see Colin. Colin, he's plucky. I think people would call him plucky if he was being described in a teen detective novel. But he's like he's also very young and very bouncy and very hard. It takes him a long time to settle. But he is comprised mostly of elbows and occasional rubber bands. He is I think if you could describe him in a single word, the word would be doink.
Is that his surname?
Colin Doink.
It is now, yes.
Perfect.
Colin.
Amazing,
Joink.
amazing. Maybe Colin, this is your you're early in your career.
Oh,
but-
very.
But you've come with glowing reviews. You know, you've been put with this team, and you've been like working with a few other bits and pieces, and you're delighted that you've been picked for this job to go to Solemn Vale. Again, you're a bit maybe put out to go so far. Maybe you are, like you said, you are a nervous driver, and so going quite far away from. Well, I mean, London streets are scary anyway, but then going out, the anxiety level's not gone down. It has remained at an all-time high. What's Colin wearing, if I may ask? What sort of outfits does he currently have? Is there any sort of, not gadgets, it's not what I'm thinking of, but any sort of gear that he's got on him?
He's got the general kind of duct tape bits and pieces. He's got very big pockets, but because his legs are relatively skinny, it just looks like he's wearing jodhpurs. Like the entire time, he looks like he's wearing jodhpurs and kind of quite a thick jumper because he loses heat really easily, and so he's got this like kind of turtleneck jumper that looks very similar to one that might be owned by the director of the group, but it's not. It's a much cheaper version.
It's much cheaper. It just happens to be similar.
Yeah, just it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
And so yes, it's one of these like roll neck jumpers that's quite big on him.
Cool. As we sort of go from your sort of going down the road, a decent pace, but even though you're sort of like just not, your eyes aren't leaving the road at this point. We're going to go towards the back of the van, and when we see our other sort of characters, I will say right at the back of the van is not a mess, but there's definitely the sort of inflatable, sort of horrible-looking mascot with one big eye looking out, which will reveal to be, Lord Peter in a second. Just behind, at the back, waiting to
The
be
king in
inflated.
yellow, Lord Peter.
Who would like to go next? Who else is in this van as we we move the camera back towards the back seats?
I'll follow along from Rhys. I think, let's say in the back sort of passenger seat behind the driver's seat is my character, occasionally sort of leaning forward and just kind of making positive affirmations to Colin that he's doing okay and that everything's fine. And we see a woman. She's roughly 38 years old, late 30s. She has sort of sandy blonde hair that's kind of pulled back into a very practical ponytail. And she's also dressed really practically as well. She's just sort of like black hoodie, maybe even with the TV studio. If we're going with the BBC, maybe it's even got the logo on it. She's got sort of like waterproof kind of like trousers on, because we're going to the countryside. Like waterproof boots, like big sort of stompy boots on, but there is like where the black hoodie is kind of zipped kind of down a little bit. There is like a sort of like not sparkly, but like quite a bright sort of blue top underneath that, and then you can sort of see when the trousers ride up a tiny bit, actually genuinely sparkly pink socks on underneath that, and she's got this big like extremely complex makeup bag. Like it's almost the size of one of those like the suit jacket zip up bag things that you would hang on a, it's huge.
You put it down and it just keeps going.
And it will just unfurl with all these things in it. But she's sort of, it's all sort of very like contained and boxed up. She's just making sure in the nicest possible way that Colin doesn't like run us off the road and / like gets us there when we need to. Like it's a gentle balance between those two things.
There's a slight like line crease as you're like you're concentrating, but you're doing your best to sort of like, oh, it's okay. Can I ask what the name of your character is, Pip?
Yes. This is Sandy Turner. Sandy with an I. So S-A-N-D-I. Turner.
Beautiful, thank you. Moving across the seat, who have we got next to Sandy?
I'll go. I'll go next.
Go for it.
A very tired, tired woman with short, dusty hair for very practical purposes, wearing dark glasses that I think she wears all the time, but not in a stylish way, in a sort of light, sensitive, sleep-deprived kind of way. In a very sort of like unflattering but professional looking dark heavy coat, just sort of hunched over a clipboard, not because there's too much on it, but just because there's far too little on it. And this is Heather Clark.
Heather Clark. Fantastic, thank you. Heather Clark, the producer. And then where do we find the director in all of this? Then where are they sitting?
So he's sat at the back, staring at the Lord Peter costume at the moment, and
It looms over him.
It
yeah, so
begins Midsummer.
what was that, Lord Peter? What?
I could never, Lord Peter.
I could possibly. What would they
Would
do
get
with the
all the
mess?
blood out.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we see a 26-year-old man with impossibly coiffed hair, wearing these very expensive brown aviators and a much nicer rolled neck jumper, and a watch that is far too expensive to be going on the road with. And we see Marcus Killian III.
Of course he's a third. Oh,
Like
had to be.
Killian as well. It's like, well, I have to. It's in the title. Tell us, Marcus, like, in the sense of like, do you enjoy doing the job? Is there like some sort of tension you have? Like, because obviously you've been sent out in the middle of nowhere. It's not necessarily like prime time TV to do this kind of thing.
He does feel that this maybe is a little bit beneath him, going out into the middle of nowhere. Like, surely there was better things he could have been doing, but he's reassured that he knows Noel is a bit of a star, so, you know, 2 stars going out together makes sense, yeah.
Brilliant. You journey along mostly in silence. You can probably hear the tinny sort of music from Noel's sort of headphones, and after a while, when he sort of finishes his cigarette and tosses it out of the van, he sort of goes back into his pocket and he pulls out a very crumpled looking letter. Certainly, Colin, you'd see this quite close by, and you can see that the letter itself, it's several A4 pages, crumpled, in very sort of like middling child handwriting. You know, it's sort of misspellings and all sorts. Sort of Noel's reading it over, goes, you know, and sort of says it to you, Colin. It's like, I love it. I love children. They're just so imaginative and so creative. God, I wish I was like that age again.
yes, Mr. Kelly.
Just, God.
Yeah.
I mean, what a kid. Look at the drawings he's done, and he sort of shows you a little bit like. Again, I guess your eyes are on
Just-
the road. You're just
It's
like,
not anymore. It's just like
Oh, no.
No.
they're very good.
Yeah, still on this massively straight road. Yeah, you can see the quick look at the drawings you saw is like drawings of Noel. You recognise it because of the big sort of hair and sort of the colourful outfits. Next to Noel is the mascot of Lord Peter as well. There's a couple of like famous sort of sketch that Lord Peter and Noel do is the pie contest. And so it sort of recreates that aspect of it. And you also see Marcus has drawn, you assume himself and his family there with the house as well, sort of like waving and cheering, and yeah, and so they sort of, I appreciate like you guys are just like you come highly recommended, and I hate we've worked together before, and it's just I can't wait for you to meet this kid because his writing, he's so imaginative, so creative. Wow, it's just so nice to meet a fan, you know?
Yes, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah. And has drawn you,
Yeah.
which is a rare treat.
Yeah, and sort of passes these back, like several drawings at this
It's
point.
a lot of copies of this.
I had to have one for the fridge. I had to have one for my ma. Had to have one for my pa. Just had to really show. It's so. I was touched, really touched by this.
He's done a really good job on the hair, honestly, because the kids on it. Sometimes it's just sort of a squiggle, and that really good actually.
Yeah, eye for detail.
Yeah.
I will say these pictures look very like stickman. They're obvious who they are, but there's no artistic talent. There's no budding future artist necessarily.
Yeah. Normally they just draw Lord Peter.
Well, he did. Well, he did. But he said he wanted to meet me, and so I do wonder, Marcus, why we've got Lord Peter with us. Like, the kid only asked for me.
Well,
Well, I mean, we had to bring Lord Peter. Come on, I might find a use for it.
I mean, as long as he doesn't take all the shots as usual and take the center stage, just just me and the kid. That's what we're doing the interview for, yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Don't worry, I'm on the camera today. I'm gonna get a nice close up of you.
Would anyone like a wine gum?
No, hands on the wheel,
I've got-
Colin. We have hands on the wheel, Colin.
Yeah, hands
That's
on the
where we
wheel,
keep
sorry,
them.
yeah.
We keep them on.
Yeah,
just
keep
for
them
now
on
on the
there.
wheel. Thank you.
Thank you.
And maybe a wine gum in a bit when we've stopped, but
Okay,
yeah,
thank you,
hands on
Sandy.
the wheel. That's
Yeah,
okay.
hands on the wheel.
That's fine.
I think there's some. There might be a bag of other. I think I've got some humbugs in the back there as well. If they might be under Lord Peter. If anyone wants a humbug, they're under
Absolutely.
Lord Peter.
Absolutely no one makes a move to,
No,
to
the
go
van
towards
continues.
the Lord Peter's suit.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah. When you sort of see that sort of POV, you can see everyone and Lord Peter's face at the back as you sort of drive through Solemn Vale. You sort of get to the outskirts of this village, and then you go into it, and it seems like a very nondescript village. There are some beautiful thatched roof houses and cottages that sort of give way to sort of more modern structures as well. You pass by sort of the town square where there is a bowling green and a big pub that seems shut just now because you've kind of gone for a sort of, it's lunchtime perhaps, but it's sort of early closing, it seems to be on this particular day. There are other residents about, sort of look to you, obviously recognizing the big sort of BBC, and sort of like, ooh, sort of looking past as you sort of wind your way up to the address. Now, who would we think would have the address, and more importantly, the map to this place?
I think I would have handed Colin a very badly written note that says some sort of squiggle and then a bit of an address and then maybe a question mark.
And Colin is following it to the letter. Just
Sounds good. What I would say, Colin, I would like you to do for me a challenge check. I know, the first of the game.
first roll.
I think
Let's
this,
do it.
I think this game. I think this particular thing.
Flip into a ditch and the van explodes. And only Lord Peter
Peter
survives.
rises from the ashes. I think this is a pressure check. I think you're trying to like you're trying to work out this map and look up at the same time. So that is basically you're gonna. I think it's a pressure of only a 3. So what that is that you're gonna roll 1d6 for me, and 3 or over, you succeed. Now, what you can do, if you'd like, you can donate points from your mind and spend it on the roll. before the roll. So, for example, you don't have anything just now, but if you want to say spend 1, do that, you get a +1 to your roll.
I only have 3 mind.
That's fine.
So on the one hand, I really want to spend it.
Mm.
On the other, I know I shouldn't spend it.
That's fine,
But-
that's fine. If you don't want to spend it, that is okay
Yeah,
as well.
no.
So roll that d6 and get 3 or over for me, please.
A 6.
There you go.
Hey.
Oi.
Hey.
Get in
So-
there, Colin.
Yay!
You're quite good at actually working out the scribbles and stuff, and like maybe there's a little bit of a spill from some sort of like tea, or a flask of tea has been handed around at some point, but you sort of work out where the directions are, and you manage to pull up to Sword Terrace. And let me find that the actual bit I need to read. All right. So as you pull up, again, you see that sort of dry stone wall of a very beautiful detached house, white on the outside of it. You can see, again, a tiled roof, nice big windows, a door, a front door, which is ajar. And as you sort of pull up and, you sort of maybe start to step out, stretch your legs a bit, the van door opens.
If it's one of those slidey ones, can it just like immediately like clunk a little bit and drops a little further than it should?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Noel sort of gets out, sort of trims up his hair a little bit, maybe goes to use Sandy to get it a little bit done up. But certainly I would say Marcus and Heather, as you sort of maybe just looking around and stuff, you instantly notice that the door to this place is ajar.
Well, I mean, country sort of villages, they're quite safe. They do sort of leave there. Maybe they'll think a neighbour's going to wander in for tea or something. That's probably fine, right? That's probably normal.
You're thinking that's normal?
Should I not?
I'm wanting to think that it's normal.
Country folk.
Does it?
Yeah.
Are the doors open on the pictures?
You quickly go to the one clue I've given you, and they are not open on the pictures. They look like it looks very much like a 2D drawing in crayon of a door. But it matches. You go, this is the house.
This is the house. It's just that the door's not open, so it might be a different one.
Well, that is it. It is a drawing, Colin. You know what? Like, I'm not being given invitational reference by the child's drawing. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, no, of course. You're
unless
right.
the kid's gotten contact information that they've put on there, or
I think Sandy has just finished a quick. I think she's done work on the way, but
Hairspray has been a horrible smell.
Yeah,
in the van.
the humidity has caused some of these curls to sort of begin to droop. So she's just a little hairspray spruce there, and then sort of seeing everyone sort of umming and ahhing around this spot. I think she's just gonna go, for God's sake, and just walk up the driveway and sort of knock on the door. Hello? Anybody home?
As you're walking up the driveway, Sandy, your boots, which are quite, you're sort of well prepared for this, you go and you manage to step in quite a few sort of deep puddles of water, which seem to be quite, like, spotted all over the path. And then as you go up to the door and the door opens, you can see that the hallway itself, with the stairs going up to the second level, is filled with water. There's like damp patches, the woodwork is sodden. It looks like a leak has sprung here.
Looks like somebody's, I don't know, left a bath running for too long, or we have some sort of serious plumbing issue going on here. Hello? Is there anybody?
we can't set up here. This is not safe for a crew. We're gonna have to do this outside or something.
Heather, can you not call a plumber or something?
Can I call a plumber to this person's house?
Yeah.
What do you think my job is?
You sort things, right? Yeah.
There's no response to your calls, Sandy.
I'll sort of wave Colin over.
Yeah.
Colin, you're a handy guy, right?
Yeah.
Any experience in plumbing?
I could give it a try. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, before we do that, I think we should probably try and see if anyone's in. So
Okay.
We're
Hello.
we're gonna go in and see if anyone's home. Okay, unless anyone else wants to.
Noel also calls out. Oh, they're not there, Sandy? Is the kid's not there?
Well, I don't see anyone in the hallway, and I've called and no one's answered. So we could stay out. I mean, that's fine, but there's a real problem here. There's water's everywhere. It's causing some real damage.
All right, let's just head in and at least try and find them. They've got to be here.
Yeah. Colin, you go first. Lead the way.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I will do. Will do, Mr. Killian.
I will go. I go with him.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Immediately,
My hand is on his shoulder.
like, kind of testing how deep the puddles are.
It's literally like maybe like half an inch. You'd think it's not streaming out or anything like that, but like coming up, there definitely was like big sort of puddles, and then looking up, you can see there is like water all over the hallway. You can see ahead of you is like a kitchen, and going into there, perhaps having a look around, you can see that the sink itself had been overflowing, as you said. It's not currently at the moment, but everywhere feels damp. And also, Colin, because you did call out earlier, no response to your calls either.
Are we sure that this is a structurally sound built? Some of these country houses are quite old.
Just knocks quite loudly on the wall.
Please don't.
Yeah, this
Seems solid.
Seems solid.
this is like the bad kind of old. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it's too old. It sounded old.
Yeah, like
Where-
the paint's stripping off the walls. We got this can look
Paint.
horrible on camera.
Has Noel made a move at all to come into the house?
He's sort of looking around of like the place outside.
Okay, I stop him before he. If he tries to make a move towards the house, I will stop him and just be, Noel.
Yeah.
You can see there's water
Yeah,
everywhere.
I know. I
in there.
see it.
Yes?
God, yeah, this is terrible.
Okay, well, do you want me to have to do another hour's work on?
No, I understand
Okay,
the drill.
so
I did that bit in Bristol with you. Don't worry. I'll
So
stay in
here-
the van.
We'll see what happens. Just stay out here. Maybe they popped out to the shops or something. They'll come back and they'll see you. It'll be very exciting. So let's.
Yeah, like you said, there's some sort of plumbing issue. Maybe they went and called someone and took the kids with them. Perhaps.
Exactly.
I'll protect the van. That's my job. No worries.
Thank you, Noel.
And goes and sits back in his seat, puts his headphones on, ruins the hair slightly.
There's like the facade. There's just like a little twitch of rage. He doesn't own that hair. I do.
Yeah.
That is not his hair anymore.
No.
And I'll carry on investigating with the others.
All right. So
Back upstairs.
let's everyone investigate the house. So all of you, I need you to roll. It's a logic challenge to investigate the house. So that is using your mind. It's only a 3. Now here's the thing. In every scene, I have something called the weird pool, which is just related to the scene, and the weird pool is the number of players plus 1. So there are 5 points up for grabs. You can, if you wish to, if you want to, you can take a point from the weird pool to increase the roll by 1, a point per point. You can also, this is after you've rolled. Before you roll though, if you want to use a different skill, that's not mind. If you want to say, I'm investigating by using my body instead, you have to justify it. So instead of looking around, using your sort of mental capacities, maybe you're moving things around, looking up, upending stuff about your body, and maybe soul could be something different as well. So you'd have to get a point of weird in order to do that. The other thing that I'd mention as well is that if you're not in the challenge, but you would like to be, you could also take a point from the weird pool. Currently, this is a challenge for all of you because you've all gone into the house. Right. So it's a logic 3. So I just need you to roll a d6, and if you'd like to spend a point of your a point of mind, you can do.
I'm gonna do it. Why not? I'm going to
Whoops.
spend a point.
All right.
Might as
So
well
you-
start doing this at some point.
All right. So you got +1 to your roll of your mind roll, of your logic roll. Sorry.
Thank
Anything?
Christ, I've rolled a 2.
Ooh,
that's
a
a 3.
3. So that's a success for Sandy. Anyone else rolling just now?
Yeah, I've just scraped by on a 3. So
3. So Heather on a 3.
I got a 5.
And Marcus
Hey.
succeeds. Yeah. And Colin.
I got a 2.
Yay,
Ooh.
Colin!
Colin, you are again. What's great about Solemn Vale is that you're not necessarily like hampered. Like you don't find anything. You certainly find something. Unfortunately, though, for you, you're going through the water. Maybe you open up a downstairs closet, and more water comes out, and it sort of soaks the bottom of your pants and stuff, and you're just like, oh. So nice. You take some damage, Colin. You take 1 mind damage because you're frustrated. And you're kind of weirded out because everywhere in this house is wet. Like you saw, like the floor is wet. You knocked on the wall. It's sturdy, but there's even as you knock, the paint is peeling away and there's water dripping down from inside of it. So it kind of weirds you out slightly.
Well, that's not going to work on film.
But as the rest, but you all sort of go investigate the house. It's quite a big, roomy house. It's quite fancy, even for 1970s. There's a big master bedroom where you suppose the parents live. You didn't really get their names from the letter. You kind of only just heard about Marcus from Noel, at least. It seems quite a nice, well-kept bedroom, except, well, it's completely sodden. The duvet itself is all in a mess. There are pillows flying everywhere. A couple of the photos on the wall of the family. You can see there's a mother and father, a sort of grown-up daughter, you think, and then what would seem to be Marcus, sort of a 10-year-old boy, also there as well. Looking around, there's another room which you would assume is the grown-up daughter's room, and what I would say very typical grown-up daughter things here. There's like music posters on the wall. There's a collection of vinyl discs, super cool. Various things, maybe a few sort of unmentionables, sort of also floating about as well. Bits of clothing, etc., also flying out as well. And yeah, sorry. But again, no one in these rooms. Let's go for Marcus, because you rolled a 5. Marcus, you make your way into the final sort of room on the top floor, and you find a small boy's room, essentially. About 10 years old. You reckon there's like a toy train set. There's various books about adventuring night, sci-fi, all that sort of thing. Big sort of pictures. Again, all of this is in ruins and tatters, like almost as if there's been an explosion of water in here. But you also find, like, in a little desk, are drawings, similar to the drawings that Noel Kelly sort of showed the team. And you could identify that the person who drew these was the same thing, so you would assume it was this boy, this Marcus. And there's drawings of Marcus next to a shadow. Almost looks like an identical copy of him. Like sort of a dark sort of, I can't describe it really, almost like the black of the crayon is so deep and so hard, it's almost just become matted. Marcus, I would like you to do either a foreboding or a logic check. Me, please. The difficulty is 4.
I will do a logic check, and I guess I'll...
That's from... So that if you wanted to spend any points from your mind pool, you could do.
So if I spend 1, that'll drop me from 6 to 5, right? That's how this
Correct.
works.
Yep. And then there's a +1 on your roll.
Okay, let's give this a go. That was a 1 + 1, 2. Not good enough.
Looking at this drawing, at this thing, your eyes are sort of drawn to this thing, this shadow. Your eyes just go sort of almost cross-eyed, almost like it's like a magic puzzle, but you just like can't get your head away from it, and you get a piercing sense in your brain, just like you get 1 soul damage as you tear your eyes away, and you just whoa. Something about that painting, something about that drawing, not good.
So mechanically, does that drop my soul from 5 to 4 effectively?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. Oh dear. I guess after seeing that, I'd probably shout out to the team. Oh, I found the little pipsqueak's room. It's just as wet as everything else back here, and he's just more of these creepy little drawings.
All right. Something has clearly happened. Clearly they've had a leak or something, and they've left the house. I think we should all reconvene out the front and wait for them to come back. I was hoping this would be a short shoot so we could leave.
No, well,
But-
Heather, we can. Well, there's neighbours. Someone would have seen something. We just knock on another house. We can just talk to someone. They might know where they went.
Do you
Yeah,
want
sure.
to talk to a villager?
Yeah, sure.
See,
Okay,
Colin
well,
will.
Colin can talk to a villager. That
There we
that
go.
Okay.
works for me. That works for me.
And
Yeah, you're the
can-
runner. You run and
Okay.
knock on the door. But let's reconvene with
yeah, it's
Noel.
it's really wet in here, so just run carefully, Colin.
Okay.
Careful running.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do.
Marcus, are you showing the drawing to anyone?
Yeah, I would definitely show the drawing. After yelling that out, I'd come
Kind of.
out with it in my hand.
Yep.
And
Stapled it to my
whoever's-
forehead.
I don't know who would be like following me through the house, like who would be next, but whoever that would be, I just sort of flash up this. Look at this creepy, weird little drawing this little freak has made. Oh, hurts my head to look at.
Pip doesn't want to look at it, but yeah, Sandy's going to look at it,
All right.
obviously.
Sandy, what do you make of this? This is weird, right?
A foreboding or logic check for Sandy, please. 4 is the difficulty.
Okay.
Remember, you can always spend a point from the weird pool to use a different ability. So,
Yes.
if you need to. So foreboding is soul
You know what?
connected.
You know what? I back myself to get a 4, 5, or 6 here.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Go for
I'm
it,
gonna
Sandy.
roll a dice and I'm gonna succeed.
All right.
A thing I do often.
Mm-hmm. I believe you.
proud of you, buddy.
It's genuinely a 6. I'm not even
Hey.
kidding.
Hey.
It's a 6. Okay.
Very good. Very
Whew.
good. Like, I mean, you've kind of looked over Noel's shoulder before seeing these drawings. So again, you make the same conclusions that this is Marcus Neville's drawing, handiwork at least.
Hmm.
There's something unusual about this drawing. Like, I mean, it's weird, as Marcus says. It's like, definitely like, I wouldn't put that on the fridge, wouldn't put that on the mantelpiece. But there's definitely something you can tell. There's something hypnotic about the way your eyes are drawn to that sort of dark shadow, the dark self, which is almost like a mirror image of Marcus. But you just go, ugh, weird.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. Look, I think stop waving that around, Marcus. I think if you could, it's really unsettling, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. So, maybe put it back, or keep it. I suppose I don't care. Sandy's gonna follow after Colin because God, he's
Sure.
probably gone into someone else's house with the door open, and this one's full of fire instead of water. So he's getting into something. So yeah, I'm gonna go make sure Colin's okay.
Perfect. Is Heather doing anything?
Oh, I think Heather is is probably trying to shepherd everybody back down out of this incredibly unsettling house, and just attempting to do a roundup and a head count and hope that somebody else will come up with a plan that she can kind of copy as her own.
Take the credit for.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. You're just getting unnerved by the way this house is. Again, it's not fully like leaking. Like again, looking around as if like you're going across like hall carpets and stuff, and there's that horrible sort of squelch. And as you sort of look down the squelch, you can see almost like dirty water coming out of the carpet, as if it must have happened in like the last couple of hours or so, you know. And yeah, it's just sort of unnerving that there's no one here. It looks like if they were here, like almost upended, like the bedding hasn't been slept in, it's almost been taken off. All the plates and stuff in the kitchen, they've come out of the cupboards and smashed on the floor. And the living room itself, all the stuff around it, like the pictures, the big old TV is off on one side, cracked. Thankfully not on. And this house is all in darkness as well. I mean, you're very careful not to touch anything electric as well. So it adds to that sort of sense of there's something bad happened here, really bad.
Okay. Clearly, they've had an incident. And they're not here. So let's start asking around.
This is just going to ruin the schedule, Heather. This is ridiculous. Why don't we just find some other random country bumpkin child and call them Marcus Neville? No one will know the difference. It's TV.
Upsettingly, that is moving up the list of options. Certainly, it would get us out of this place. But I don't think the studio would be hugely thrilled about that.
Oh, they're only not going to be thrilled if you tell them. God, Heather.
Yeah, that's true. It was an organizational error.
Right?
I cannot create bricks without clay. You know, so
this is why I come to you, Heather. You have a clear view of things.
Okay.
A visionary like myself.
Okay, we knock on doors until we find a child. Done. Perfect.
Smash cut to Colin just banging on the door. Hello.
Hello.
What I say with when when Heather and Marcus sort of comes out, I assume like Sandy and Colin have gone off to one of the close by sort of cottage perhaps. Is that looking around, you actually see like a garage, and then maybe peeking in, you see the family car is still there, which you think would be odd if they had left in a hurry and not taken the car. Meanwhile, though, as we said, Colin, let's go talk to some neighbors, shall we? You go to, let's see, let me look at what numbers we've got here. Yes, you spied like a little cottage nearby, Colin, and you sort of went like, perfect, they'll be nice there, and you sort of on it.
They live in a cottage. They're nice.
Yeah, you actually come in, yeah, and as you sort of come in, it almost feels like as you get out of the house and out of the sort of the boundary of it and going into the cottage, which also has a similar sort of dry stone wall and like a beautiful sort of well put together, very neat looking garden. You almost go, whew, and you actually feel a lot lighter. It's like, something showing. But yeah, you go, bush, and
It's just the squelch as he's kind of like walking and the damp shoes. It's like, yeah, squelch, squelch, squelch.
squelch. Yeah,
Knock, knock,
exactly. Takes a little while, but slowly the door opens and a elderly woman looks up. A real lot of ringlets of like really white grey hair, huge Coke bottle like glasses, very, very hunched over on like a little frame. He looks up and goes, hello. Or what?
Hi.
Are you one of those Mormon chappies. We had a few of you around earlier. I'm not interested, to be honest with you, dear. I'm about to pop up at any moment.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. Like I don't think I am. I could ask, but
you don't
no,
know?
we're from Noel Kelly's Heroes.
No,
Like Noel Kelly's Heroes with the TV show. We're here to talk to.
No, I don't deal with those moving pictures, love. I'm more a radio fan, you know.
Oh, wireless, yeah. I mean, we do wireless as well, but like it's not the
Ooh.
same, like not the same channel.
Have you been on that Desert Island Discs at all? I really love.
No, I've heard of it. It's good, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I think I might have already invented it just now, but
Wow,
I think
that's
it's a
really
winner.
impressive.
I
What
think
would yours be?
Ooh. Well, if given the choice, I think, and at that point, you hear a Mum, no, you shouldn't be up yet. You shouldn't be up. And a gentleman comes out, a very tall, sort of 6 foot, athletic looking man with we've already sort of talked about sandy blonde hair, but a very sort of sandy, sort of like well cut behind his chin. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please, Mum, you shouldn't be up, love. Oh no, dearie, he's just talking about his heroes on the wireless. I really like that. And he was talking about, I was just thinking what songs I would put if I was to put on a desert island. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, let me get you back to Adino, could you like sort her out, please? And you can hear sort of from inside. And gentleman, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh no, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Not at all.
So we're with Noel Kelly's Heroes from the TV, and we're supposed to talk to your neighbours, and then their house is all wet, and I mean, and then I got splashed, and like it ruined my wine gums, and I've got some squishy shoes. I mean, do you know where the neighbours went?
I need you to do a pressure roll for me, please. It's a 6. So that is using your mind if you need to spend points on it. Yeah, it's a 6. What, you rolled a 6?
No.
Oh, it's a
I've
6,
not
yeah.
rolled yet.
Yeah, it's a 6. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll spend a point of mind. That's fine. That
right.
means I've got one left. Good.
Oh dear.
Colin's gonna have a mental
So
breakdown.
is
before
Colin
we
just
even
going to
get
die in this social interaction?
No,
Has a
Colin,
brain
please.
hemorrhage talking to this man.
This shit just got real Disco Elysium.
Colin has one of those kind of like, collapse.
No.
I rolled a 5, which means that is a 6.
Very good.
Comes in clutch.
Whoa, very good, very good. The Nevilles. Yes. Well, sorry, Alan Taylor. I'm the pharmacist here in Solemn Vale. Sorry, my mother's not been very well recently, so I've been taking more time to care. I just nodded off for a moment and she was off and about. But you were asking about the Nevilles.
Yeah, next door.
You said
The
that.
house is damp.
Oh, well, that's.
I don't know if it was damp before or whether it's if that's a new thing that they're trying out.
I mean, we've not had any problems here with any damp or stuff, or at least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Usually my sister takes care of the housework and stuff for Mum whilst I'm at work. Yes, well, I'll be honest. We did hear some noises last night from them, some sort of shouting and some screaming about, I'd say, just close to midnight. Very nasty stuff. So we just, I had to look after Mum and stuff, so I didn't really want to worry her and stuff. So we kind of just locked the door tight and, well, to be honest, I'd quite forgotten about it until you turned up this morning.
Oh, okay.
You said it's all damp and you're sorry, you know the Nevilles, sorry, or you
Oh no. So Marcus Neville sent Noel some letters. And
Neville's,
they've got
Neville's
some
son.
drawings on them. And so they were talking about how he really wants to meet Noel Kelly because Noel Kelly's great, and didn't mention the Lord Peter that much. And Noel was like, yeah, definitely, I'm gonna go there. So we're filming kind of so that they can meet, and we're filming their meeting because Marcus sounded really not Marcus, but the little Marcus. He sounded really, really keen.
Yes, he's quite imaginative. That boy. He's
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Do you know where they are?
No,
Oh. Do you know someone who would?
He's quite close with the Higstons and points to the house across the road. Certainly the youngest, Becky, quite close with Marcus. But I'll be honest, if you don't mind me saying, you said obviously I wouldn't want to say stuff, but he's a bit troubled, that boy. Like his mum came. Oh, when was it? Angie. She came into the surgery a couple of weeks ago asking for an opinion, getting some sleeping pills and stuff because he'd been up all night talking to his imaginary friend. And we were like, well, we can't give, sleeping pills to a child, it's, not without their consent unless it's a medical condition. And she said, well, he's been up talking all hours of the night.
Huh.
Talking about playtime and going out and all these sort of things. And I just said it was kids being kids, they're weird when they get to that age. I certainly was weird myself, my sister could tell you. I was obsessed with tractors, like, you wouldn't believe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was your favourite tractor?
Oh, the big ones.
Ah, cool.
John Deere.
John Deere.
Other brands are available. He says to nobody. That's what you people at the BBC say, isn't it? I'd say at this point as well, Sandy, you're more than welcome to enter the scene.
Oh, sure. I did want to arrive uninvited.
No, please, no. Anyways,
yes, I will arrive in the scene. Sorry, just for my own personal.
Of course.
How handsome was this man? Did you say?
He's pretty handsome.
Okay, cool. Just log in that. Just log in.
Yeah,
that.
look, it
A handsome
definitely,
pharmacist, you say?
definitely, early, very chiseled jaw, very much like I just do it for. I like helping in the community. That sort of like poster child sort of face with the frizzy hair, like.
Sandy will sort of come up the path and.
Oh,
hello.
Hello. I was talking to your colleague here. It sounded some trouble at the Neville's.
Yeah. I'm with the crew as well. I see you've met Colin. I hope he introduced himself.
Oh yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm Colin.
Oh, Alan. Yes.
And
I'm
Sandy.
This is Sandy.
Charmed.
Sorry to barge in. Do you have any idea where the family is? Because we'd really like to speak to them, and I mean, whatever's happened over there is just a pretty serious plumbing issue, I think.
Yes, Well, I'll just make sure with my mother she's all right, and then I'll phone in and see if there's anything on with the local waterworks or anything like that. We are down from like a big reservoir and stuff, and it's not often that the straits get flooded at all, but it's no damage here at all or anything like that. Or at least I'm aware of. Although, Andino, she's cross with me. It's fine. Don't worry. Lovely to meet you both. I hope.
What was your name? Sorry.
Oh, Alan Taylor.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Alan. This is Sandy.
We've met.
And yeah. Well, we should go talk to, because there's another family. Sandy, there's another family with a child over the road.
Okay, sure. Well, look, if you turn anything up, we're just over here with the van and
with the gentleman with the big hair, and you can see that Noel is just there, like thumbing through some sort of like, I don't know what they call whiz comics, like just looking through, like chewing some gum, etc.
Yeah. I mean, and you can come and visit whenever you want.
Oh, I got to look after Mum. She's
okay.
But I appreciate it. And you said it was some interview with Noel Kelly.
Yeah, it's just so.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy.
No.
Sandy's really good at talking. Like, yeah.
Oh.
Also, she's really good with hair. Like, and you've got hair.
I do.
You do, and I mean, it looks great. Looks great. Whoever's whoever's doing it for you is doing a great job.
I grew it all myself.
Colin's just going to back away slowly from them. Just be like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just hear this very slow squelching.
Yeah, so squelching, and the gate as you shut behind you. Yeah.
I imagine I'll get whatever Colin got.
Yeah.
In terms of information.
Yeah, he's done the sort of roll on that. He seems very affable, Alan. He sort of asks about your work, and he sort of goes, "I didn't. I'll be honest. It might be forward of me to say so, but you don't look like the sort of lady that would work on a children's show. I thought maybe something like, I don't know, BBC News or Panorama. Although I might have just invented that as well. Who knows?
Well, it's not the only show I've worked on, and it's kind of I go where I'm needed. So, but Noel's I suppose a bit of a pet project, I guess.
Oh, we know all about them here. We've got pet projects all over. I'm actually it's a bit naughty, I'll admit. I actually brew my own cider. Just don't tell Mum.
Oh, you do? What here?
Fruit cider. It's just a little practice thing.
And Sally's gonna look around, see where the others are.
They look like I'm going to say Heather and Marcus are going to go over to the other house, I think.
Probably. Okay. I'm a cider fan. Love to try it sometime. When you're free, obviously.
Well,
we're hopefully not going to. The shoot's only supposed to be for today.
Sure.
But,
tell you what, you wait right there. I'll go grab a round of refreshments for the team, shall I?
That sounds lovely. Great.
Wait right there.
Thank you.
And the door shuts, and you can hear him sort of walk away. You sort of take a moment, and then you sort of look at the windows, at the bay window next with the sort of netted curtains, and for a moment, Sandy, you see somebody looking through the lace at you. A very gaunt-looking woman, who you would not have seen before, or met before. And then she just moves away. Younger woman, similar looking sort of features and stuff to Alan. Meanwhile, on the other side of the road, towards number 3, Heather and Marcus, what are you doing in your way up to this door? It looks very similar to the house that you've just come from, a sort of almost like clone copy, but a little bit more wear and tear, but it looks lived in, and certainly as you pass through the gate, there doesn't seem to be any puddles here. Or any water. It seems quite dry.
Not a street-wide problem then.
No, it seems strangely contained to that one house.
Good. Well, that would probably hopefully mean that this one would be good to film in. Fingers crossed for a kid. Fingers crossed, preferably a boy, but
If
Marcus, who knows these days? It could be anyone.
Yeah, if it's not a boy, we'll just say it's Michelle Neville or something.
Yeah, well, I had to improvise. I had to adapt.
Yeah.
You probably ring the doorbell, bing bong, and it sort of goes
yeah.
off. And then in the front sort of frosted glass of the door, a figure approaches, opens the door, and it looks to be like quite a let's see, what does it say? A big guy, a slightly older, a bit of a grizzled type beard to it, soft on top. So, can I help you? You're not flyering, are you?
No, don't worry about that. Hi.
We've had lots
Hello.
of those Mormon people coming in. And
No.
Okay.
No,
good,
don't you worry.
Right.
No, we are looking for the Nevilles. We're a TV crew. We're with Noel's Heroes. We're from the Beeb.
Noel's Heroes.
Yeah, Noel Kelly meets people.
Oh yes, Becky watches that show sometimes.
Specky?
My daughter, she's upstairs in her room just now.
How old are we, Becky? Are we talking?
You need to make a check for me, my friend. It's going to be it's a pressure check, but it's only a 4.
Is this just to not come off as real creepy? Is that
We have
Hello.
a
How
bad
old is your
country.
daughter?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So again, you can spend a point. Currently, so what's tied to pressure is mind. So you can spend on it. What I'd say as well, only one of you needs to roll, but because you're both there, both Marcus and Heather, that you could spend points together or spend points on the roll. The other thing is that you do have the weird pool. Now the weird pool, you can either you get a point from the weird, add it to your own pool, and then choose a different ability to spend points from, or say Colin is currently not in the scene, but maybe Colin wants to be in the scene, could also take a point from the weird pool and then appear in the scene and help as well.
If
What
it's
are
for
we thinking?
mind, I wouldn't recommend it.
I am being pretty weird, so maybe I'll just give myself a +1 just to really, because it's a 4, right?
You can only you can do it once you've rolled for the
Okay.
+1 after that. But yes,
I've rolled a 3, so a +1 would really be helpful.
do it. Like take a point of weird.
Perfect.
And then it's a 4. And then Heather, I would like you to do something called a weird roll. Now what this
Oh,
is just all it is the other type of mechanic we've got in this game. We've got the challenge rolls, which you folks have been doing wonderfully. We've also got the influence rolls, and these is more of a narrative thing, which usually comes up when we use certain skills that like to decide what happens next. And a weird roll is the same thing. I want you to roll however many points you have in weird, which is just 1d6, and I want you to tell me what the number is when you roll it.
I rolled a 6. Is that good?
Oh no, it's not
Is that
good.
bad?
Look at
That
my
seems
face.
like that
is
could
not
be
good.
bad.
That is the worst thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't seem higher's not great then. What I'm getting.
So
Yeah.
one thing that's really cool about Solemn Vale is that there's have these things called stage rules, things that can happen depending on the scenes. There's a couple of ones in play which I've not told our players, but one involves weird. So when a weird roll of 6 during play causes something to take notice of the character for whom the roll was made for.
Oh no. I don't like that.
Probably something real nice and
I don't.
friendly.
I don't like that.
Like
I don't
Lord Peter.
appreciate it.
Lord Peter.
Lord Peter wants to give you a hug.
No, please don't.
Heather, next to you, as you're sort of talking to this gentleman that's come to the door, suddenly the wrapped around sort of a hose pipe, goes off and hits you straight in the face.
Oh, ow!
1 damage to your body, please.
Heather, stop playing around with hose pipes. What are you
I
I
doing?
didn't touch it. I obviously didn't touch it, Killian.
And he's just like, oh god, and like, just goes and turns out. Sorry, that's Are you quite alright? Do you want to come in, please? I'm sure I've got a towel or something.
That's fine. Have you seen the Nevilles?
Well, we heard some. Well, I don't know if I'd call it an argument, but we heard some shouting and stuff late last night, and I was a bit worried, so I locked the door and made sure Becky was in bed and stuff, and then.
Yeah.
You say
I
they're
think-
not there just now?
I think a pipe's exploded or something because the place is full of water, and so clearly they've got I don't know, a plumbing issue has happened, and I was maybe they've headed somewhere because the house is wet, and if it happened last night, maybe they went to stay somewhere that's not damp.
They would come over to us if there was a problem, but I'll be honest, we it's so silly. I appreciate you BBC people, you London people wouldn't get it per se, but like we get told these fairy stories of things going bump in the night and stuff, so if you hear something weird, it's just something in us that go, oh, no thank you, evil, and then we just shut and leave. And I know you might think that's me being a bit of a coward, but I've got Becky to think of and stuff, so if you sure they're not there at all? They would have come over straight here if there was a problem.
I mean, we looked up and down.
The whole
Doesn't
place was
seem-
empty.
Okay, well I'll see if I can ring the local Bobby, see if he'll come and have a look. See.
Listen, would you perhaps be interested in being on TV?
Look, I Look, I don't know how you found me. I might have done that in the past, but I'm not interested in doing any of
no,
those.
No. It's
peep
a
show things.
It's a family TV show. It's for the BBC. It's Noel's Heroes.
Right.
It's Noel Kelly. He goes and he meets fans and sort of heroes of the local community. And we are sort of scheduled to film with the Nevilles today. But the Nevilles aren't really here. So I thought it would be, maybe an opportunity to meet somebody else in the community.
Let me talk with Becky. She does love the show and stuff, but
Oh, perfect! Because we've actually got we have Noel here.
Oh no, do you? Oh, I think he's a bit of a fruitcake, if you ask me.
Well, we have Lord Peter here.
Really? Oh.
We do, yeah. We got Lord Peter over there.
He can come out and meet you if you want.
Oh,
we can
yeah.
get him,
Oh,
come say
yeah.
hello.
Let me talk to my daughter. Let's see who goes in.
2 hours tops. 2 hours tops. It's all quick shoot.
I think at this point Colin will appear.
Oh yeah, you'll hear this squelch, 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 squelch.
Killian will quickly look at Colin and just kind of mouth, "You're gonna have to get in the Peter costume."
Again.
Oh.
Yeah. Now
preferably pretty close to now, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Go.
Cheers.
Go.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
like,
Killian,
the,
yeah,
I like the
definitely.
idea that the costume does it is an inflatable costume, like Mr. Blobby. So 100% Colin disappears into the van, and then there's just like just the sound of a fan.
Colin's legs sticking out the back.
As
Like
the horrific visage starts to take form.
Just like slowly inflates and the eyes get slightly
Sandy usually
bigger.
helps people into that costume.
The crown gets larger.
absolutely. Whilst this is happening, you hear like both Heather and Marcus will hear like sounds of footsteps coming down, and the gentleman comes down with a young girl, roughly about, you think, 10 as well, long sort of brown hair. She's clearly just like got dressed and stuff, and like quickly looked, and is looking quite such. And her dad's like, they were asking after. They were saying they've got Noel Kelly here. And she's like, well, that's Marcus's favorite. I just like watching it with Marcus. Because well, yeah, but you can do this for Marcus. He's not here just now, so you just need to, if only if you want to, love. It's only if you want to.
Think how excited little Marcus Neville's gonna be if he sees you on TV as friend. Doesn't that sound cool?
Well, we're not really friends anymore just now.
Well, think how jealous he'll be. You're gonna be a star, kid. We can make you a star right here, right now.
Not a
Killian,
moment
you-
of hesitation. That was incredible.
Killian, you are a genius.
Just bam.
Never
So
seen
good.
this side of you before. This is excellent.
No, he said he's got all the friends he needs now. He doesn't need me. He doesn't care.
Yeah, well, screw him. Come on, be a TV star. Come on, like, we can get you an exclusive one-to-one with Lord Peter.
She looks up at her dad, and the dad goes, like, sort of like, okay, and sort of comes out.
Just
We are in business, kid.
Like
Let's
falls
go.
out the back of the van,
Sorry.
bounces.
where's my pies?
His famous catchphrase.
Killian, roll.
Noel is like, I think just to have a quick scene in between. Noel looks back as Colin gets into the van and is desperately trying to, and it's like, what, what's going on? Have you
I'm
found?
really sorry, but Killian told me to get into the costume. I know you hate it, but I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to.
Did you find the kid? Is everything all right with him?
Oh, the house is really damp, and
Oh.
there's a kind of, there's a lot of water, and I think, I'm not sure, but I think that Sandy's pulled. I'm not sure. But I hope she has, because I mean she deserves to be happy. But it's also Like, it's a
Squelch.
squelch. It's like, but it's also, I think it's a bit weird because everyone's just really quiet.
Quiet? What are you talking about?
Well, like, they just locked their doors when they said there was noise, and they just locked their doors.
Right. Well, did you see the kid? Did he look happy? Did he sound excited to meet me? No.
Oh, no,
Cully, from No Cully's Heroes.
Oh yeah, no, we can't find the kid.
What?
The family. They just disappeared, and
What?
there's loads of water.
Wait,
And
why,
so
why are you getting in the costume then? Well, there's no need for you to get in the costume if the kid's not here.
But Killian said I should get in the costume.
Did he now?
Yeah.
Opens the door, comes. At this point, this is where I would assume everyone's meeting at this point.
Where's my pies?
The small girl.
I'm not meeting. I'm waiting for
Killian,
some cider.
roll the tape. Killian, roll it.
Can I just
Although I
say?
guess if I see that the camera's out and stuff is rolling, then that Sandy is professional. Like, that was a lull and there was an attractive man. That's fine. But if the camera's going, then I think Sandy will like shit and like turn away from the door and start heading. Especially if I see Lord Peter's out, because I know Noel is going to be pissed.
Can I just say massive props to John for the music that's playing? That is.
Oh god,
peak.
yeah.
Very
Amazing.
good.
Beautiful.
It's exactly what I expected. Yeah, Noel sort of comes out and comes straight up to you, Killian, going, "What the hell's going on? I hear the kid's not here, so we're not doing the thing, right? We're not just. Why are you getting Colin to get in the Lord Peter thing?"
Come on, no, you're a professional. We've got a schedule, and look, the kid is dead or missing or
What,
doesn't
dead
care.
or missing?
I don't know. He's not in his room. He's not in his house. And his house is soaking wet. I don't know. But
Do you have my pie?
Oh,
look,
pushes.
Yeah. Yeah.
no, we'll do the usual. We'll do the usual routine. We got a different kid. We've got a new kid. Who cares about the old kid? We got a new
Well,
kid.
I
Big
care
fan
about
of the
the
show.
old.
Big fan of the show. Big
I-
fan of the
yep.
show.
Doesn't have her.
You see Becky sort of looking out, and it's like, "Hello, Mr. Kelly." He goes, "Hi, sweetheart. Give me 1 second. I'm not doing it without the kid that wrote me these letters. Have you read them? They are beautiful. They're heartfelt. They are evocative. They've got this kid is an artist, and I have to meet this spirited kid."
Do you know how hard it was to find a replacement kid on short notice? This is like some podunk town in the middle of nowhere. How hard it is, do you think, to find a child?
It's not about that. I want the actual child that actually wrote me this letter, Killian.
Did you find my pies?
Colin's already got the suit inflated.
Look, I'd feel more comfortable if we were able to find the kid, at least just to say goodbye and sorry and all that sort of thing. I'll do the interview and stuff, but it feels not right if we're not doing it with the actual kid.
Oh, okay. Let me cut you a deal here. No, we're both professionals. We can work this out. We do the interview with this kid. We get it on tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the bank. We've got that. And if we have to leave, we can leave, and we've got that, and we've done a day's work, and the bigwigs at the Bee will be happy. But we can spend a little bit of time after the interview trying to find the other kid. Maybe they're
Thank you.
nearby. We'll do a quick drive. We'll drive around.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sure. Colin, as you're in, Lord Peter, is that water?
Sorry. I shouldn't have laughed at that, but I did.
You-
I did.
As you are, yeah,
Oh,
as you're
whoa.
inside,
Ooh.
you've already described how wet your shoes are,
Yeah.
and it's being in this costume, the inflatable costume. It is not difficult to breathe, but it feels trying to get air is quite hard, and you feel damp appearing at your armpits and in sort of like around your legs and on all the places of your back, sweating quite profusely at this point. I need you to make for me a pressure roll.
Cool.
It's a 5.
Okay. I'm gonna pull from the weird on this one.
Oh, excellent.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise I'll die.
So
We truly cannot have another runner die inside the
This-
Lord Peter costume.
We are so close. We're so
So
close.
we truly can't have that happen again.
So it sounds like you're taking from the weird pool. Are you going to change which ability you're spending from then? Because you can do that. I'll read out what you can do from the weird pool again, just so we've got it. She says, trying to find it. Weird pool. So you can add 1 to the result of a roll after the die has been rolled. You can choose to spend points from a different ability than normal from a single challenge die. So that's what it means. So it wouldn't be mind, it would be something else. Allow the character to spend challenges on points on the challenge that they're not present for. On this one, to invoke a specific stage rule. Well, I'm not going to tell you those. And those are the only ones that are relevant to this bit. So, do you want to use a different ability?
Yeah.
So add,
So
add to your weird pool just now. So that's 1. Which ability are you using?
I'm gonna go with foreboding.
So your soul. So how many points of soul are you spending?
I'm gonna go for 2 soul. Just
Sounds good. All right.
add a couple of those there.
Roll a d6 for me, please.
Oof, that's a 3.
Plus 2 is 5.
Plus 2 is 5.
You don't feel sick. You don't. It's just stifling. Like, you won't be able to last long in the suit, but you managed to hold it together for now. But the wetness around you, it's really unpleasant.
Do you have my pies? Do you have my pies?
I mean, I can't really work with this, but I'll do my best. Hey kid, how are you? What's your name? Becky. What a fabulous name. And well, tell me, like, what is it that you like about? What is it that you like about Noel Kelly's Heroes? I don't. I like the pie fights. Right. What? Anything else? Like, it could be anything, love. Anything. Like, what's your favorite part of the show? My favorite part is watching it with my friend Marcus. He used to come over all the time, and we used to watch it whilst we drew drawings together. But he said he didn't want to do that anymore. He had new friends now, and he didn't have time to watch silly old television. Okay. Marcus sounds like quite a guy, though, right? He drew all these pictures and stuff, right? And gets out the letter. He points to, like, the family and stuff. It's like, he said his friend was called Marcus as well. He said that Marcus had come in a dream, and that they were going to play forever. It'll always be playtime, and you wouldn't ever be lonely again. Oh, kid. Well, he had you as a friend. Only 'cause I sat next to him in school. He got picked on by the other boys 'cause he liked drawing and they liked football. So Noel is like looking to the rest of you guys going, really? This is what I gotta work with?
Does Marcus know where my pies are?
Colin, he's dying out there. Throw the pie at him.
Throw the pie.
Okay.
Throw the pie.
Okay. I'll get the. Dick. Oh, I found my pie.
Oh no, Lord Peter, don't. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Are you sure? Because I should.
Colin,
Yeah.
Do it. Chuck it.
Oh,
Go on.
Here's for my pie.
Roll a weird roll for me, please. So roll that one point of weird. Tell me what the result is you get. We'll do the influence roll.
One.
You are in such a dazed sort of state, but your aim is true. It goes through the air, hits Noel straight in the face with his coiffured locks, and it's like, "Oh, Peter!" And it's like sort of, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to wash this off. Oh, well, thank you so much, Becky, for helping me. And I just need you to say the catchphrase. I'm a hero, just like you."
Yeah.
Great. I think we got it. I'm gonna go wash this off. Is it all right if I used your bathroom? And the dad's like, yeah, sure. Oh, well done, Becky. And Becky's like, you can see she's starting to cry a little bit, looking quite sad.
It's like, Becky.
Yes, Lord Peter.
Do you happen to know where Marcus is?
When I
yeah.
last spoke to him, he said that he was going to go away. That he and his friend were going to go to the woods.
Okay.
Where they'd get to play with forever.
And in the woods, is it far?
Slowly, a hand points to behind the Neville house, where you can see a deep tree line. And as you look, it looks very thick, like the trees themselves very closely knitted together, that you could walk amongst them. Probably not in the Lord Peter outfit, I'd say. Although that sounds like a hilarious adventure.
I think at this point Sandy will like arrive and just like, because I think Sandy's noticed that Colin in the Lord Peter costume is like starting to weave a little bit and just kind of, so I think she's gonna come in and just sort of start steering him back towards the van. Say goodbye, Lord Peter's got to go now.
I'm off to find the pies.
Yep. Where have those pies got to? And she's just gonna lead him back towards the van.
Sandy, I need you to make me a logic check for me, please.
Oh boy.
Channel value 5.
Fuck. Okay.
We've got 3 more points in the weird pool.
I've got 3 more points in the weird pool. I'll take body instead. If that's possible. Is that something I can do?
Say what that again. Sorry, you cut out a little bit then.
Sorry, I'll take a point from the weird pool to make that a body check instead.
Yeah, perfect. That's it. So yeah, how many points from body are you spending? It's a 5 challenge rating.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna take 1, and I'm gonna roll. And I need a 5. I need a 5.
5 or more. Total of 5 or more.
God damn it! That's every time. It's a 4 on the dice, so it's a 5. Like it's always like on the fucking line. Yeah, 5.
Okay, 5. You meet it. As you're sort of weaving Colin a little bit, and you're like trying to find the zipper, like desperately. You look down. And you notice on the path, the very dry path, wet, bloody footprints coming out of the house, the Neville house, around and up into the woodland. These footprints, looks to be like a couple of people, but there's definitely a trail, very small, like a little bit of spattering of blood. You just happen to catch it as you look down, and the footprints are still wet.
Sandy is going to file that for immediate, not quite immediate, but like very soon we're going to deal with that. And then we'll see her and Colin disappear back around and into the van. And then the noise of the costume deflating. Yeah.
All right. What's Heather and Marcus doing at this point? I'll just check.
I feel like Marcus is trying to get reassurance from Heather that was good enough and we can leave.
Yeah. So I'm thinking what we do is we do maybe a quick I haven't got a location release for it, but you know, it doesn't seem like really anybody's going to try and stop us because no one really seems to be around. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick location shot. We'll have Sandy. She's a champ. She'll get Noel all cleaned up. And we'll do a location shot, and we'll say like we're here in the beautiful south of England, and Noel, and we'll get a lot of. We'll really focus on the location, the beauty of it all, and we'll get a lot of B-roll, and we can do some, and then we can go, and then we'll just leave. We'll go.
You, Heather, I love the way your mind works. You are a visionary, almost akin to myself.
It's just so good to be on the same page as you, Killian, to be honest. Like, so
It is.
great. We'll shoot some beautiful B-roll. Can I just get a release? Just get like a release form for that performance. Just a little bit of address stuff. Send you a check. Chris, wonderful, Chris.
Yeah, but I guess yeah, are you all right, love? And you see Becky is there, just sort of crying a little bit.
That's gonna be okay. You're gonna be on TV. It's gonna be great. Marcus, he'll be jealous of you, getting to show up.
No one ever comes back from the woods.
Well,
I told him not to go. I begged him. I said that I'd be his friend forever too, and he said it wasn't good enough. He said that his friend Marcus, he was the true friend, and that they'll always have playtime together. And
Well,
it's my
kid,
fault. It's my fault.
Well, kid, it sounds like you've learned a very important lesson about staying away from the woods, right?
truly wonderful. The mind of a child.
Runs
Right?
in between you and goes into the house, running away, crying.
Stage fright. It's a hell of a thing.
Happens to the best of us.
I'd love to get a word with Heather, I think, before I speak to the rest of the
Yeah,
group.
I think her
It's just
the dad sort of goes, let me just go check on her. Sure, we'll sign any. It's just let me just go check on her. She's very cut about her friends, so, and sort of goes off. So yes, so feel free, Sandy.
Heather,
Yes, Sandy.
Just over here. Can I just have a word?
Yeah. Hey, great, perfect job on the hair. So we're gonna need a
Thank
full
you. Oh,
reset.
No, I know, but look.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not
Hey,
gonna-
what's
he's
going
getting
on?
hit with pies. No, fine. And I'll just point down at where we're standing, which is sort of between these footprints, these sort of wet, watery, and bloody footprints on the ground that come out of the house. And
Go around.
you seen this?
Is that blood?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And did I hear the kid talking about the woods? And then I'll sort of follow with my hand and point in the same direction.
Yeah. They did say Marcus was going to go into the woods.
I think that's what he's done.
That does seem to look like that is definitely what Marcus and someone has done.
Yeah.
So that's good. These sorts of places, they're really local communal spots for people, and
Really local communal spots for bleeding children to wander into woods alone or not alone with somebody else that you're...
Are we gonna have to go and check that this kid's okay?
Yes.
We are, aren't we? Because
Yes.
otherwise, I'm the health and safety expert.
You're the one that's got the medical certificate. Yeah, you've done your CPR course.
Yeah.
Surely this is a situation for the local authorities? Like, I
Did you see
don't
any
see.
local authorities on the way in?
Well, no, but that man, Chris, said something about phoning the constabulary, I think. They must have someone, a guy with a truncheon or something. He can go into the woods. Look, I don't want to go into the woods with these shoes on.
Colin, I would say you've managed to extract yourself. Yeah, maybe you still have the legs on or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
still got the legs on.
Yeah.
Colin, we were going to shoot B-roll, mate.
Where? Should I put it back on?
Yeah, get back in.
Sandy,
Okay.
zip him back up.
Whoa. Okay. Sandy, you reckon
He
you can
needs
do...
at least a 5-10 minute break and some hydration.
Yeah. No, you're
Okay.
right. You're right.
It's hot in Lord
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah. Turnaround time. I get it.
Thanks. Thanks, Sandy.
Right.
But I mean, what are we doing?
There's bloody footprints going from the house into the woods. We think it's probably this Marcus kid. There's also someone else. There's another set.
Sandy, I thought
what?
that was a need to know hierarchy kind of thing, mate.
Do you want me to go
He's
check it
right
out?
here. And look, if we're going, he's coming with us.
It's Colin, he doesn't look at things.
Yeah, we go up the chain here, Sandy, not down the chain. I thought we'd explain that.
Yeah,
Right.
it
Look, okay,
should go
fine,
up the chain.
Chain,
fine.
Sandy.
You can stand around doing whatever the fuck it is you want to do with your chains, and I'm going to see if Alan has a phone I can use. And she sort of...
Sorry, who's Alan?
She's
Oh,
already
Alan's
walking
lovely.
away.
Sorry, Colin, who is
Alan's lovely. Alan's lovely.
Alan's
He's a
lovely.
pharmacist.
Who is Alan?
Oh, he's lovely. He's a pharmacist.
Already
He's
knocking on the
very-
door. Already knocking on the door.
Does he
He's
have a
very
community? Does he have a
handsome.
sort of a community? Might one use the word hero?
I mean, you could use the word hero.
Certainly had this look. I'm not there, but certainly had the jawline of one.
I'm hearing you, Colin, use the word hero.
Did I?
You're a very average person.
Then yeah, he's a hero.
Suddenly-
Okay, great.
This is a respin on Lord Peter suddenly becoming it's turned from a heel to actual hero. Sandy, I'll just say, Sandy, you go to knock on the door or ring the bell, and the door opens, and a lady opens it. One you recognise from the person that was watching you at the window. Hair sort of like almost tapered down into like a plait, glasses, very sort of prim and proper look. He goes, "Can I help you?"
Oh, hello. I was just speaking to Alan before.
Yes.
I just wondered if you had a telephone we could use. There's been a bit of trouble at the house across the way.
Alan's
we
busy
think maybe-
just now.
Oh, that's fine. Do you have a phone that we could use?
I have a phone.
Right. It is sort of an emergency. We're pretty sure that young Marcus from across the road is missing. We think he might be in trouble.
I'd get out of here if I were you. You don't take too kindly to city folks coming in and nosing about in our business.
We're not nosing around in anybody's business. There's been a flood in the house across the road, and a whole family and a child is missing. I'm just asking to use a phone. I don't mean to impose.
You should be careful of the water. It's very dangerous around here. And shuts the door.
Turns around. Rather bemusedly walks back to the others.
Sandy, do you reckon we can film Alan?
Nope.
Right.
Oh,
B-roll it is.
Yeah.
Sandy,
They
you
really
okay?
don't. That. I don't know who that was. but she... I don't like it here.
Yeah. No, I don't really like it here either.
I don't think anyone's gonna try and help this kid.
Shit. Are you sure?
We should.
I mean, if that lady is anything to go by, and you said that the people in the other house, they heard noises, like people were in trouble, and so they shut the doors and waited till they stopped.
Colin, mate, don't
This
put
isn't...
You're an adult, Colin.
No, well, you're just confusing him at this point. Is he on the chain, or is he at the bottom of it? Does he have to put his hand up?
Say what
is
you
he
want.
allowed to talk?
We give you permission to speak, Colin. Come on, out with it.
Thank you, Killian. We should help. Because they didn't. But also, we should.
It's just the right thing to do.
It's what heroes do.
We aren't heroes, Colin. We film the heroes. We aren't the heroes, mate.
But, okay, well, we could film you being a hero, and then we can be the heroes who film the heroes.
No, well, hold on. Colin's, Colin's onto something here. If that's what it's going to take, Heather, we have Noel here with us right now, right?
You?
We have a
You?
missing...
Oh.
We absolutely
Sandy.
don't, but you're right.
Sandy, you've been wrangling Noel. Where's Noel?
You went to wash his
He went to
face.
wash his face in the...
Water.
Well done,
gonna
DC Sandy and
I'm gonna check on him.
Inspector Colin. You lost Noel.
I'm gonna check. Look. He's fine. I'm gonna check on him. I'll check on him. And Sandy runs to the other house
Yeah.
and knocks on this door.
Yeah. Chris Hickson opens it and goes, I was gonna ask, your friend just left. I don't know if you...
Sorry?
Yeah, he just walked straight out, like he washed his face and then just went straight out into the woods.
So what, out the back or?
Yeah. Look, he left his coat. And you see, he picks up like the Noel Kelly blazer with like Noel Kelly on the back. Noel Kelly's Heroes.
He loves that coat.
Headphones. Left it all behind.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I'll take those. Not a problem. We'll just he's probably gone off to...
It was strange though. Like he was talking about that he had to go find the kid. He said that it was important. That he said that I need to make sure that the kid was okay and a playtime was coming. I just...
Yeah. Noel he really does care about his fans, and that's great. That's what we love about him. But we better go and make sure that he's fine, and I'll take the coat and the just whatever he is holding, and again run back towards the others with like a really pained grimace on my face.
Absolutely.
Killian,
Smile.
I'm not an inspector.
Colin, mate. We have to...
Noel's fucking gone in the woods. Noel's fucking gone in the woods.
Bollocks.
He went out the back door and he's gone in the fucking woods.
Oh, bollocks. See, a gap in the filming, a gap in the release schedule, we could just do reruns, but I cannot lose Noel.
Yeah, no. I mean, none of us can. So...
Oh,
I mean,
Sandy, how did you lose Noel?
He went to a bathroom to wash his face.
You're supposed to wash his face.
I'm supposed to wash his face?
Killian, mate.
I mean, I should have, because I hit him with the pie, so really it's my fault.
Look,
not
I'm happy
Colin,
to
It's not
I'm
Sandy.
happy to apportion equal blame between both Sandy and Colin for this.
Thank you,
That's
Killian.
fine. We can agree on that.
Dodged a bullet there.
Heather, you are my rock. You are the only one who understands me.
Gotta kill him.
Where is he? He's in the woods.
He's in the woods. I don't fucking know where he is. He's gone in the woods.
So we should go to the woods.
We should go to the woods.
We can't. We absolutely cannot go to the woods.
That is a terrible idea, Sandy. What are you thinking?
We could make the title "No More Heroes."
Well, yeah, if he's dead and it's the
That's
documentary
so
where we go to
grim,
find him,
Colin.
that's...
Colin, that is grim.
But if
Okay,
if
look-
we're not going after him, then we should rename
Fine.
the show.
Tonal shift, I guess, from what I was
Right.
going to suggest before. Heather, we have a camera. We
Yeah.
have a missing child.
Yeah.
And we have Noel, who's gone
Yeah.
to get the child.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
this is either the beginning of a really wonderful little sort of documentary where
Jaunt.
Noel saves a child who's gone off in the woods. Okay? Great. Or it is the beginning of a harrowing piece where we discover how Noel's fucking died. Okay? And look, both of those, they're going to look great on you and Marcus's fucking CV. Okay? Both of those, you can spin those. I'm sure you can.
Losing Noel is not gonna look good on my CV, Sandy. I gotta be real.
No,
It might
okay.
look good on Killian's CV, but
It won't look good on my CV because Dad said he could only lend me Noel for a short time, and I've lost Noel. I am going to get...
Let's go get him back. Let's go get him back.
let's
Into
go
the
get
woods.
him back.
Into the
We
woods.
go-
We just go. It's just woods. It's woods. It's literally woods.
It's woods.
Should we?
We're
been in the
4
woods
adults. We are 4 adults, and it's just the woods.
Don't, Colin, don't put the costume. Don't, Colin.
Costume off.
I've
Leave
had
the
5
costume.
minutes.
No. Colin. Schedule's changed, mate. Colin,
Okay,
schedule's
sorry.
changed.
Keep up,
Sorry,
Colin.
thanks.
Keep up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
with Lord Peter depressurizing, and slowly but surely, you, I assume, follow those wet footprints into the woods. And just before we end tonight's session, I'm going to invoke a stage rule.
Oh God.
This
bet that's not good.
applies to all the scenes. It's just a little stage rule called Isolated. All characters must complete a separate foreboding or wits roll at the end of each scene, taking 1 damage to all abilities should they fail. The challenge value is 4.
We can't lose Colin.
I'll be fine.
There is still 2 weird left in the scene pool.
Have we had an opportunity at any point during this scene, I guess, to get any of the points we've spent back by playing into our...
Not
No.
yet. Not yet. At the end
You
of
are-
the scene, and then between scenes, you will get the
Okay.
chance to do it.
Okay, I see, I
Nice
see, I see.
try. Nice
No,
try.
I'm not trying. I'm just trying to understand the game.
I perceive you. You are perceived, my friend.
Please never perceive me. It's my least favorite thing.
So it will be either a foreboding or a wits check of challenge rating 4. Your choice. So foreboding is related to the soul pool, and then wits are related to the mind pool. There are 2 weird points remaining, so people want to use it to either change whichever pool you want to spend ability points from, or add a +1 to after the roll, anything like that. But they are up for grabs.
Well, I'm going to spend 2 of my soul.
I'm going to spend 1 mind.
Okay.
I am going to... What were the... Sorry, it was wits or...
So wits or foreboding. So
Wits or foreboding, so soul or mind, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, if you want to spend points from it.
I'm gonna... No, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna let this ride. I'm gonna try and hit over
Alright.
a 4.
Alright.
But I have to say which one it is, right?
I mean, I trust you on it. I won't
I'm
worry.
gonna say soul. I'm gonna say soul from the
Soul?
off. I'm gonna say
Okay.
soul from the off, and I'm gonna...
Anything for you, James, before we roll?
Yeah. So what's the order of operations? This I have to say what I'm gonna roll. I roll it, and then I can add something.
So we've got 2 weird still remaining.
Yeah.
If you're going to add something from, say, if you were going to, so you've got there's 2 abilities you could use if you
Yeah.
wanted to add stuff to it. So foreboding is
Yeah.
soul,
Yeah.
or wits is mind. So you could spend some of those points already having those +1s, or you could use after the roll. You could use a point from the weird pool to add a +1 point per point, or you could use the weird to change whichever ability it is. If you've got, say, if you've got a lot in strength, you might want to use that instead.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll wits.
Yep.
I'm not gonna add anything to it just because if I lose, I'm gonna, and regardless of whether I add something, then I'll have just thrown points after points.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's roll that weird check. So you need 4 or more.
Come on.
That's 3 plus 1, so 4.
4. So Marcus makes it. Colin makes it. Sandy, what did you get? Sorry.
It's 3 plus nothing.
There's still a point. There's points in the weird pool if you want to take. Like a +1 at the end. But there's
Yeah.
also. I see James has also got.
Oh, hang on. How many points are in the weird pool?
There's 2 points in the weird pool.
James take him. It's fine.
It's not
No,
worth it.
I'll do
It's
it.
not worth it.
I gotta
It
jump
isn't
on
worth
this grenade
it.
for you, my dude. I love
Sandy,
you.
mate, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'll take it. Okay.
Okay. Well.
Okay. All right. I will
so-
take the 1. I will take the 1 to bump mine to a 4 then.
All right. So that is great. So Heather, you do take 1 damage to each of your abilities.
That's
Mind,
fine.
body-
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not that low on anything, so I can take it.
So as you sort of trundle away into the forest and as the greenery closes around you, that is the end of scene 1, the scene at the Neville house. But we now go into between scenes, which is the recovery stage. So instantly, everyone can recover 1 point from any ability. So I'll let you do that now.
Okay.
And then we can go around and discuss facets, if anyone used a facet and stuff, and we can just talk about it through and obviously give examples. We're going to be very nice about this bit, to be fair. And similar with bonds. If you felt like, oh, I played out this relationship with someone really well, just name it, and then we can agree on that as well. So any facets for people?
I'm going to put forward that I was very arrogant.
Yeah.
No argument there.
All right, I think that's agreed. So yeah, Marcus, you can regain another ability point of any of your choosing. Any other facets?
I might argue that I feel that Sandy has been quite brash. I think that's something I've done. I walked straight into the house when the door was open and it was a little bit
you
creepy. I've been flirting with a guy on the job.
Is he handsome?
You were demanding we head into the woods
Yes, that's true, yeah.
I
when we
argue
had
for
other
brashness.
options still.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that if everyone else is happy with that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so
I'm going to go ahead and load up dispassionate.
I feel so too. Yeah, but you're also purposeful because you're like, fine, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think I'd be happy with that as well if everyone else is okay. So feel free to regain a point of your ability. Anything for you, Rhys?
I'd go with people pleasing. I think
I think so too.
there's been a little bit of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think the moment you put that suit on.
Stop. Don't do that.
The music, it haunts us
Please
still.
don't. Please don't. I wasn't prepared.
That was
Brilliant.
I'm
Glorious,
actually
John.
sort of
It's glorious.
I'm actually kind of gutted that I mean it made sense, but I am sort of gutted that we're not bringing the Lord Peter costume into the woods with us.
Oh,
But
it'll
then
follow us.
It'll be around.
Yeah, I trust Fiona to not leave that behind.
Absolutely.
It's damp.
It is very damp.
Has anyone seen the movie Nope?
Yeah.
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 Cool. So Nope, but Lord Peter.
Just from the sky.
Uh-huh.
You cut
So-
that out.
That music.
You cut that out right now.
He won't do it, James. He's not gonna do
I
it.
hate this.
Any
You can mute it.
any bonds, any plays up to relationships anyway, or strong reactions. That would be the end.
I mean, I feel I've been exceptionally protective of Colin.
Definitely.
I think so too. I think
Completely
so too.
support that.
Okay, you can regain another skill, another point. Sorry.
Fantastic. I think that means I'm clear.
I
Anyone else? For anyone else?
feel like I was relying on Heather a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no,
I think
for
that's
sure.
true.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. Yep. So feel free to regain that point as well.
That puts
So-
me back to full 2.
I don't feel like I've been very team playery with Sandy. So I'm gonna say I'm definitely did not
That's
live
fine.
up to that.
That's fine.
It's your natural instinct to fight me on everything.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I think because you're playing that dispassionate role better.
Yeah.
I think because you're just like you're tired, you're trying to get things done, and you don't have time for bullshit, even from your oldest friend. What about you?
We'll team up in the
Colin?
woods. We'll team up in the woods. It'll be fine.
What about you, Colin?
So looking
I think there've been a couple of in-awe moments, but I don't feel they're strong enough yet to have
Sure.
to qualify a recovery. But
That's
I'm open if people want to correct me on that.
I
but-
think I do feel that's the same thing. I don't think particularly open. I think that people pleasing thing came out for sure.
Yeah,
I think. Brilliant.
but the in awe of Killian isn't. It's not quite there yet.
Not yet. But there's still time. There's still time.
Oh, yeah.
So, gentle residents and visitors alike, thank you for joining us for this first session of Solemn Vale. We will be back next week. In the meantime, we're going to go quickly around. We're going to do opposite way. So it'll be then Pip, then Rhys, then James, and then Adam. Just a quick outro way we can find you folks, what you're up to, etc. And then I've got some plugs at the end. So take it away for me, Pip, please.
Okay. Thanks everyone for coming and watching us play. I've been Pip Gladwin. You can find me at Pip_Gladwin on that site. That is still Twitter. And as far as plugs go, I'm going to take the onus off of James, and I'm going to plug Realms of Peril and Glory, the podcast that James and I are here representing. We are doing a live show at the London Podcast Festival on September the 10th at 4:30 p.m. Tickets are £9.50 and at this moment in time still available, but not for long. Fingers crossed.
Not after this stream.
Not after this stream. So if you head to realmspod.com/live to get your tickets, we're going to be playing in our fantasy world of Vale, which we've done a whole campaign of and a bunch of little side stories, but you need not have any knowledge of the games or who any of us are in order to enjoy the show. It's going to be a lovely entry point. And the wonderful Naomi Clark, who you will have seen on Actual Play UK with my mock board game and other stuff. Sorry, Naomi, I can't remember. She will be joining myself and James here, as well as our wonderful GM, Zach, and Maddie Searle, and Laura Gerling, and me. I'll be there. And you can point at our faces in real life and go, "What's that?" Yeah, so please do join us. It's King's Place. It's right by King's Cross Station. It's super easy to get to, and we'd love to see you there. And that is my plug.
What's the date for that show?
Oh God, I did say it. I think I said it.
10th of
September the 10th.
There we go.
September the 10th,
yeah.
Sunday, September the 10th.
Thank you
I've got
very
my ticket.
Whoa, look at that.
Whoa.
Well, guess who's next? It's Rhys.
It's this guy. Hello, I'm Rhys Lawton, and I have absolutely no continuity in the names I use across social media platforms. So you can look at my website, which I think I have. So
Man of mystery.
you know what? Type in rhyslawton.com, see what happens. If it's me, cool. If it isn't, I really need to update. I really need to update that. I'm here also plugging Who Lives Who Dice, which is a bi-weekly, die-weekly podcast and YouTube stream at Who Lives Who Dice. Who Lives, Lives, Who Dice, DICE. And it's quite fun, run by lovely people, and including the wonderful Naomi Clark, who is glorious. Yes, who's glorious and wonderful, and all the things that people should be. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I also, I don't know if this is relevant, but I also do a comedy podcast, comedy interview podcast, or the Quantum Leopard podcast, which is based off of the London's loveliest stand-up comedy night. And yeah, so it's very much no kicking down policies and is lovely. So yeah, so follow that as well if you fancy.
Oh, thanks.
Thank
for that,
you.
Rhys. Brilliant. Moving on to James.
Hi, yeah, I'm James Barbarossa. The live show really was the big plug, but I'm going to go ahead and be the one to plug Realms of Peril and Glory. It's a wonderful show. Many of our cast have graced this lovely stream. We've got so many different series to check out, lots of different vibes. If you love the spooky stuff, I've got to say I have to recommend Pip's own Cyborg series.
Cyborg.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
definitely
good.
very creepy. That's coming out right now. If
I mean,
you like that,
it's kind of the episode that's coming out on Monday is creepy.
it's very creepy. So there we've got that. We've also got our 10th season was High School of Horror, very much a sort of 80s horror. And our 7th season was The Witch is Dead. So if you like aspects of spookiness in these forms, you should absolutely check us out at realmspod.com/listen or at Realms of Peril and Glory on your podcatcher of choice.
Thank you very much. And last but by no means least, Adam, please take it away, birthday boy.
Hey. Well, yes, I am Adam. I am the DM over at Gunpowder, Treason, No Plot, which is a cosmic horror themed homebrew D&D podcast where we're running a sort of a long form 1 to 20 campaign that's been going for a few years now. And the show releases fortnightly, so you can find it pretty much on any podcast provider under Gunpowder, Treason, No Plot. If you like the sort of long character-driven story that's very enriched with horror throughout, it's the sort of show for you, I'd say. Other than that, you can also catch me on these streams. So Pip and myself are actually both on the Delta Green stream.
We are
which-
ongoing Thursday nights.
Thursday nights. So, you can find me in both of those places.
Fantastic, thank you. And I'll be remiss not to reintroduce myself. So when I'm not playing sad children and possibly creepy water, my name is Fiona. I run What's My Rolling, which is twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. I also do the DM's Book Club. If you're like, D&D forever, and we're like, okay. We do a weekly book club podcast, which talks about that lore and see how we can make it better and improve it in all the ways around. So go check that out. I'm going to quickly do some plugs. Please subscribe to the Twitch, Actual Play UK channel, and onto YouTube as well, because we're going to have the VOD for this and all of our other streams out on the YouTube there as well. We've also got several streams coming up. One has already been mentioned. We've got Delta Green on Thursdays, a little mini campaign. We've got people from Troll of 2 Ton Bridges, Realms of Peril and Glory, Gunpowder, Treason, No Plot, and Chaotic Neutral Games. Next week, there's also us again on Friday. We've got Solemn Vale coming up again, part 2, Electric Boogaloo in Solemn Vale. And then after that we have Drakes on a Plane. It is a D&D show. We've got D20 Future, League of Stupid, I am reading this, 2 Kobolds in a Trench Coat, and some other heroes. I assume that is the name of the podcast, rather than just we couldn't get anyone in for this one. And Troll of 2 Ton Bridges as well. They're all going to be on it for the 1st and the 8th of September for a D&D one-shot called Drakes on a Plane, which is going to be excellent. Thanks so much to our wonderful producer, and the person that's been keeping us all tucked in well and checking in as ever is John. Obviously, incredible music, incredible scoring, and
Thanks, John.
they were already ready.
Love
It was
it.
amazing.
Love
Thank you for watching Actual Play UK. You can find us on Twitter, if that still exists by the time you're looking at this, and Instagram at Actual Play UK. With all that out of the way, I'm going to say good night. Stay hydrated and don't have nightmares. Goodbye.